Yeah.
Someone make a child?
You must say. I must just leave it until you find out in character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure,
Well, you'll figure it out
I don't even think we
at
should
some point.
mention it in the recap.
No.
I think we should just wait and tell him in
Yeah, what
character.
recap?
Right.
I think we're just gonna.
We're just gonna jump into this.
Yeah, I think we'll recap the Vincent.
Okay.
So this is us attempting the streaming of our game for Vampire 20th Anniversary Edition.
I call it
We are a group out of Alaska, and we use V20 rules. So anyway, nobody's gonna be interested, but we'll try it. Anywho, yeah, I think we will forego the recap of last session.
Have a line.
Let that one go.
We'll let that one go, but I will explain to Vincent. He what happened in the session that he was gone at.
I don't know if Vincent wants to hear that shit.
Are you sure? Yeah, you do. Of course you do.
A lightweight recap.
If it takes focus from the prince of Vincent, he's kind of happy about it.
Well,
That depends on how that plays out.
Really
That's
find out.
well, it's going to have to find out in some way, but not necessarily
let's go
the
through
details could be
We'll
left.
go through the
out.
provision first.
I don't know that he's gonna have to find out is necessarily
No.
true. I think we might keep this one well under wraps for a while.
Well, part of it will stay under wraps.
I think she should leave DC.
I don't think so. I don't want to put her out there. I don't want to literally send her to a role.
No.
We've got friends just outside of DC.
You guys could give me a politics and intelligence role if you want, if you have training
I don't
it.
even need to.
I don't need to.
We're not throwing her out there.
Yeah.
She did this partly to be with us as well. I know.
Well, okay, I'm just saying the option exists that her home base,
Am I up?
such as it is,
Which one's mine?
could be a much safer location.
Ward, your lack of humanity is shown.
I can.
Or common sense is shown.
Tradition dictates that the childer stay with the sire.
In this case, is Regal.
Yes, well, I'm Ventru, aren't I?
And the Gangrel just like to throw them off and see how they do. Very Sparta style.
I'm Ventru, that's not going to happen.
We'll see how good of a mother Ringil is.
Fucking Ringo did it?
He's not here, so it is actually perfect timing. This is going to be so great. Oh, man. Yes. So, essentially, though, Rusty, the downtime was spent... So after you guys got in your big fight trying to get Shayna, right? So you're trying to capture Shayna. You did, and you successfully... And then he got boiled, right? Yeah. So she was able to get close enough and was so hateful of you specifically that she risked everything just to get a nice lick in. And a big lick she got in, right?
She did.
Yeah. All the way to the milk dud on that one. But you are basically healing for the next at least day. And then that's where the other members of the coterie did their thing. So they were doing basically a little bit of downtime, a little bit of discussion, and then there's a little bit of drama that had occurred, a lot of bit of drama, and then things happened, and time went by. So we'll leave it at that for now because it's more fun this way. See what happens when you miss a session?
I know, dude.
It's like, oh, what the hell?
And you know what's really ass?
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Is last Monday, I found out I could get internet package, which would have cost a lot of money, and I did finally get up getting it, but I could have joined by Discord.
Oh, really?
Okay, but I didn't know until the next day. I was like, I was so mad.
Oh man, yeah. So anyway, where did you all end up sleeping then for for the night?
I would have gone back home.
Back home?
I didn't think we had. I thought we left off at the park and
Yeah.
kind of called it there.
That's
And that
where
was
we
like
left
the
off.
middle of the night still.
But he asked where we were sleeping. I would have gone back home.
Yeah, we didn't, that's what I'm saying. Is it wasn't late enough for us to go back and go sleep. At least that's how I recall it. Because we woke up that night. All hell broke loose. We spent an hour or two dealing with that, and it would have been like the middle of the night still. Like by the time we finished what we were doing, and we were just at the park.
That's fair. It ended for Ringo. But well, let's see.
And if we needed to wrap up, that's fine, because I have something I got to go do at the end of the night anyways. We could all go do our chores and then.
That's right. That's kind of what I was thinking. But we could talk about what we want to do for the night. If you guys want to do anything specific, like head back. So things do happen, depending on what's going on. And like I said, your character, Rusty's completely out of it. You're just so damaged still that you're trying to heal that one hit point, one health level a night with 5 expenditure of blood kind of thing.
Right.
But you are holed up at the Chantry. Did you hear what happened with Timothy and with Cade? Or did I announce that first thing last session? Do you know what happened with him?
Last I remember,
Ian, that's it at the beginning of last session.
So then, yeah. So what happened is Timothy basically worked to negotiate his release or their release, saying that he can get control of it now because the way it had worked is he couldn't see when the demonic entity was taking over, so they thought it was Jethro because
right.
Jethro has that ability with one of his multiple personalities. So the demonic entity did that and was like totally free game and nobody intervened and they couldn't see what was happening. So now they're just not going to let Jethro take over at all, even if it is him.
Right.
But Jethro's pissed apparently at the table, but nothing that they're going to allow anymore until they can fix it. And so it ended up getting really tense with the Tremere because they did not want that to even be an option. And Cade was like threatened them. I basically said, "You do not want to do this. Like I'm telling you, he can get out. I trust him. He needs to be out now." So you guys are out. There was a concession that had been made, and your character did not like the concession, but it was what it was. They basically said, "Okay, we need blood from you, Timothy, then, in case you get out of whack, so that we can basically bring you back under control." And of course, your character, being an Asmite, was like, "Hell to the F no." But
exactly what blood can be used for.
yeah.
Especially by then.
But Timothy was insistent and said, "No, we need to get out of here. There's a big thing coming. I've seen it. I need to be here, and we need to be going. This is a price that we'll deal with later." And so ultimately, your character stood down, and Timothy and Cade were allowed to basically go. And so they've kind of gone off into the night, away from the Chantry, and that's where we left that detail. So your character, taking as much ag as you did, you are holed up in the Chantry, and they are basically they'll provide you with a number of some blood, not all, however many, because you were down 5 ag, was it?
I was down 4 ag, 3 lethal.
So the ag, each one, I think it was 5 blood points to heal. So they can give you basically the like a total of 5 blood points, and then they'll offer that since you've been assisting the Chantry and official Chantry business. Beyond that, though, you're on your own to get your own blood.
I'll take them all night, but you can heal the rest of it with expenditure of willpower.
Yeah, and that was the night before, and then you woke up, and now you're doing a full day of resting, basically, is how that played out. But you can do like little things in the Chantry if you need to. Or if you want to take it to email, we could talk about it later. That's fine too. But basically, you're going to be bedridden for the most part for any days that you want to be healing that aggravated damage. The rest of you. So a thing happened, and Ringil is now in the ground. And what would you guys? You guys are standing there in the middle of the park. Crickets are chirping. It's still, it's July time frame, so it's pretty musty out. Very kind of haze and wet, humid air.
I say we return the van to Heinrich.
Just west of DC.
Please, I don't know why he thought this was a good idea to drive this around.
Because it was the biggest The vehicle we had available.
That's
Surely
what
we
you
can put the
had.
seats on the SUV next time.
I am actually glad it's this one and not my SUV. It's bad enough that they found my house.
I would just like the next time that we're being chased by the vines that we have something with a little more oomph in the front end.
Well,
And for the record, let's not get chased by any of those anymore.
no, I prefer not.
You're welcome, by the way.
For what?
Getting us out of there.
You almost crashed the van. You
Yes,
expect me to thank you?
but I'm very confident that you would have definitely crashed the van. So almost is better than definitely.
I'm a good driver. What are you talking about, Ward?
Well, only one of us has a proven record of evading werewolves in a van, so, you know, whose word are you going to take? 100% of the times we've been chased by werewolves, I've been successful. It's a pretty good record, right? Am I right? 100%. It's a big number.
You're stretching.
Right.
Stretching so much I'm a close stretch Armstrong.
So where's you then?
Now, you know, we're busy now already, and we're down, what, 2 people now? Just the 3 of us? I know our dog needs his information gathered, but I had a thought on that. If you give me the night, I think I can put something together. I think we've talked about this before. If we ever get a hold of someone, between your ability to wipe memories, my ability to pick their brain, and your ability to dig into their greatest weaknesses, I think what we should do is we should track down Brian Taylor tomorrow night. Actually make contact with him. I know Reggie just wanted him found, but we can do so much more than that. We can find him. We can pick his brain for memories or pick his brain for information, you and I together, between the 2 of us. We should have his whole life story. And then we can wipe his memory. Possibly even put together a little bit of a bug, give him a little flash drive maybe, and possibly even have you mesmerize him with instructions to go ahead and load it up on his computer at work. And have a little back door, a little quiet one. Nothing they'll detect, nothing malicious, just a little back door for when we need it.
Possibly. I definitely want to know what he is first. Is he truly human? Is he more than human? I would pretty much stake he would be more than human, whatever he is,
We should scope him out.
given what he does.
And I'll get a good read on his aura before we do anything. Absolutely. I think it's a good idea. But I think that's something we should probably attend to tomorrow night and maybe see how these 2, and I'm gesturing at the ground, where they're sitting down.
I would feel more comfortable once Vincent is back up and running.
Right, that's what I'm thinking is we'll see how Vincent's doing tomorrow, and maybe these 2 will have emerged and be on an even keel, or at least one of them will have.
Yeah, I'm not
Your
sure.
phone
We'll have a
vibrated, by the way.
So, but I think are we agreed that tonight's probably a poor night to get started on?
yes, we don't want to tip our hand too early. Especially when we're not at full strength. I don't know what Heinrich's up to, but he hasn't been around for a couple days either. Not since the fiasco with the safe house.
So what to do with half a team?
Well, it's not making any wilder.
Agreed.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do the owner's task of letting Vincent know. He's anxious to hear what we're up to, and I'm going to stop by. I need to do a little hunting and gather some blood for this evening. So I might as well swing by and see how he's doing. And if he's patching up okay. And
I think I'll let you do that. I would rather
it's probably best that if someone can do it, they should be able to fly away.
Yes.
Quickly.
I think that might be the best.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you will think about this.
I think he'll agree with me that it was the best. It was the best choice. It's the best way to protect her, and you know how he is about holding hands and singing Kumbaya, and everybody needs to be protected, right? Well, I think we did that.
Fill up the leg.
I agree.
In a roundabout fashion.
I mean, I don't know that Rickle's going to forgive us anytime soon, but we couldn't let her down.
There is that.
We've done him a favor. How well
I
would
was
he
just
forgive himself if he
sort
had
of
this?
both you guys grew a foot since I was
And besides, after her friend showed up, I guarantee you she's a hell of a lot tougher when she comes out of the ground. She'll be a hell of a lot tougher than she was when she went into it. Let's see them show up and
We
deal
just
with
have
her.
no idea what is really going to happen.
Oh, that's part of the fun.
I've never heard
Awesome.
anything like this.
Yeah.
So,
Somebody on
And
a
you
team.
I've heard of it, but it had that kickback and sale lady in it, and he turned blue. And I just don't think that's accurate.
okay.
I don't think she'll be blue, but I'm very anxious to find out.
Nice.
What are you on about?
Movies, you do go see them occasionally, right?
Well, yes, there hasn't been anything good since the Breakfast Club.
I didn't say it was good.
What about this?
That one would be fun.
What? She was embraced in the 1980s.
Mhm.
The last movie I saw was the only good movie.
What can I say? Movie theaters are a great place to feed.
No, I prefer lounges for some reason.
You want some beef with your...
Much older, more elegant crowd.
I miss you guys so much. Dude, she goes, yes, please eat the meat. I said, is it Aaron's? And she goes, do you want the meat?
Why yes, it is.
Yeah.
Of course, you're in my house.
So I think it's fair to say we're probably gonna part ways for the evening and do whatever maintenance we need to do, which for me includes a bunch of hunting rolls to use up whatever time I have to get blood.
Okay.
And then I gotta stop by and say hi to Vincent and give him the good news.
Yeah. Okay.
Good news, it's a girl.
It's a girl.
It's got a bit of a gender reveal
You
of
said
sorts.
Aaron. I know, I was trying to...
That's the one good thing about vampires when they create children. They're so what kind of hunting do you want to do?
What was it? The run of the mill.
So you have
Whichever one I'm good at. I can't
appearance and subterfuge,
remember. Nah, that's a 4.
stamina, athletics, and wits and streetwise.
Streetwise. I still haven't put any into streetwise. I should probably have put a point into that at some point.
Yeah, your character doesn't really care, right? He's like,
Not
just lets other people
really,
be that, and then tell him.
yeah.
But it does come up quite a bit.
Appearance and subterfuge is up to a 4 right now, so I think I'll just go ahead and do that for the hell of it.
Is anybody else going to be hunting in and around the same time? Or are you guys doing different
Technically,
things?
but not hunting exactly.
Okay.
I'm planning to go to a lounge,
Uh-huh.
the one with the older crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start looking for more herd to add.
Ah. Okay.
So I don't need to feed right now, really. I'm only down 1 now,
Mhm.
after the blood that was provided. And so I'm just going to hunt for possibly more herd because obviously sometimes I need more than just the 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to hunt for some older gentlemen.
Okay. Let's see. Give me an appearance, and so you could go ahead and roll. So this will be about the same time. Before we have you guys roll, and I'll tell you what you're going to roll. It's going to be appearance, and let's go with expression for you. And then what would Steve like to do? So
Well, Steve doesn't need to go hunt.
It's a bad crowd.
Good to go.
no,
Um,
everybody's pretty established. There's nothing you can like give to them that would make them want to. Anyway,
I don't need to hunt.
so
I mean,
is
if
there anything in
everyone's splitting
particular?
Up, then the only
Seems
thing-
like it.
Then I would maybe see if I can go to an audience. Has to climb the boom.
It is.
That's on the table.
So yes, you can call J&J Associates, and so the nice lady at the front, get her name. It's Abigail. Be wrong.
Dolores.
Dolores. That's it.
I'd never forget Dolores.
No, totally.
Dolores.
Dolores DuPont. So K&K Associates, Dolores speaking.
Hi, Dolores. I was hoping to get an audience with the prince. to
And
claim
who is
the boom.
this?
This is Steve Wazowski.
Oh,
Black Sun.
all right. Hold on.
In
Black Suns.
Yeah. Hanging with the Black Suns.
I see.
Name drop.
Well, as it turns out, he has a 2:30 a.m.
Okay.
Do you want me to pencil you in?
That would be perfect. Thank you.
All right. Is there anything that we should know ahead of time other than you said the boon?
That is all.
Congratulations. Very exciting. We'll see you at 2:30.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So, did you bot? You didn't botch, right?
No, I had a 10 and a 1.
Okay.
And no other successes.
Okay.
It is not a good night.
It's good. At least you didn't botch.
I probably went there on ladies'
That would have been
night.
terrible.
I'll bet you I went there on ladies' night.
Yeah, probably like a bunch of yeah. It's like everybody's a cougar.
I'm not looking to be a
Straight
cougar.
up.
I'm looking to be a sugar daddy.
No, I know, but they're all sugar daddies looking for. Anyway, yeah. So it's just not the right crowd for what you need. You're not really getting anybody biting or even somewhat interested. I mean, other than being interested in the usual things, but it's all temporary for
I'd
them.
probably end up just
Transient.
going home to referee between Dre and the band. And
So we'll get there, but let's. You spend a significant amount of time. Well, let's say an hour. Same amount of time as hunting, doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, Ward.
So I have a task to go do. I'm gonna need to leave enough time for that. But I will spend as much of the rest of my time doing two things: gathering some blood, a couple of hunt rolls, got a couple of hours, however long that's gonna take.
Yep.
And then picking up that ritual you and I talked about. It's a chew, so it takes a night to learn that one.
Okay, and which one was this again?
The Burning Blade one.
Oh yeah, yep. Okay. You'd have to go back probably to the Chantry and then get access to their library, but with your increased rank, you actually have easy access to it. So
I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, well, since I bought my rank up, I have the level 2 access now.
yes,
So I should be able to pick that one up.
Yep. Or circle increase, I guess.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I do need to scoop up blood for the task and then go meet up with Malaeus.
Let's do it.
So how many rolls, how much time would you say I have to do the hunting rolls, and how many should I make?
We'll say by the time you guys get in a position, it's 1 o'clock.
Okay.
It's 1 a.m. So you have to wait an hour and a half. So you could do. I mean, you guys can accompany one of these guys if they'll let you, or you just do your own thing, which is fine too.
Does anybody need a wing?
I wouldn't mind if you help me hunt. I do need to gather some blood for a task.
You need a wingman for hunting?
I could use
Be a wingman.
It's gonna be a wingman. It's gonna be a good wingman. That's good.
I'll be there.
Just don't
That
cock block.
would definitely help it go faster.
No cock blocking.
What? Oh, and before I commit to a type, my roll is 4 no matter what.
Okay.
It's 4 of something.
4 successes?
No, 4 dice.
Oh.
I've got 4 in all 3 of the methods, but I'll pick whatever method is easiest for you. Because if I go, I don't think appearance is going to be your style. I was like, I'll do appearance this time since I've raised my subterfuge. Appearance, subterfuge. Let's do that. Oh, but not if you're coming with me.
How dare you?
Yeah. Well, it's a one-eye though.
Very
Rude.
popular in San Francisco.
Just rude. But what do we hunt?
You don't know.
Like stamina athletics. That's probably your best one, I'm thinking.
Absolutely.
Because the other one is wits and streetwise.
Stamina.
And that's still a 4 dice roll for me. So I've got 1. I got 2 successes.
Okay.
6, 7, 1. I got 1.
1 success? So you guys get the equivalent of, so you find 2 people that are going together, and they both appear to be, slightly inebriated walking the streets, but, and pretty boisterous. But they seem to have no compulsion about going down side streets or whatever in shadow and laughing and, scaring each other and stuff. So you think that, based on nobody being around, you're pretty sure you can get these 2 people. So you could take up to however many you wish between the 2 people, depending on how bad
2
you
and
want.
3.
2 and 3. So you'll have 5 recharged.
Yep, I am top off.
All right, that takes you that hour. So it is now 2 a.m.
That saved me a good chunk of time, probably.
You should probably get going if you want to be on time.
Yep, I'm on my way.
All right, good luck. Don't get shown the sun or anything.
I'll try not to.
Maybe.
Where'd Steve go?
Where did the wise
Steve died, but his twin brother is here now.
Our prince is a bit of a militant bastard.
Just so happen to have a twin.
See, this is Stu with us.
Yes.
This is Mike Wazowski. Right? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it now.
We're the wise
All right.
Steve, so just be careful what you say to him. He seems to be into some. He's got his fingers in some rather questionable business, and so the less you say that he absolutely doesn't ask for, probably the better. But I wouldn't lie about anything because he'll see right through that, I'm sure. But he is a rather militant son of a bitch, so.
And you remember that in character last session, I said don't mention anything about the subject
Yes.
because it could be dangerous for me.
Pretty much anything.
Well, he's pretty militant. It could be dangerous for like everyone.
Yeah. The Setites, anything we have to do with the werewolves, anything of that sort of thing.
In fact, we'll get you a list.
A list of things to not say.
Of not say.
What Ringle did.
That'll come out, but it won't be in.
You know, Steve is really good at being stupid, so.
He's always happy to hear how we've kicked ass on the Sabbat, but less inclined to be open
So
to.
as long as he's not going to read my mind, I think we're good.
I know it's an off ways.
Right.
He could read your mind. You're pretty sure.
Yeah.
Depends. You're like, don't think about this. Don't think about this. Wait, what is this? Oh shit.
Right.
Okay. So, Jessica, you do your thing, and then is there anything else that you'd like to do? So that takes an hour. So now it is approximately 2.
I'm probably just going to do a quiet night at home.
Okay.
After get some rest and relax.
So about that, you start driving home. So you sent the text, and then other than that, like I said before, you're just kind of hole up. But is there anything you'd like to do with the remainder of the night? Like I said to them,
Did you go back home, or are you still at the chantry?
At the chantry for right now.
Because that's where I would let you know that I'm,
Because he was just too fucked up to move. I mean, he would like he's crippled. I mean, you could have healed the. Well, how much blood did you have? You didn't have much blood either.
I only had 5 left.
Yeah.
That was it. Even if I would have healed the top was my fault.
You're used to that. Come on, dude. Maybe I know. Just hum.
Yes!
Just hum.
No,
Hey. So I would follow up.
I love you being here, man.
I
It's good to be in person.
do. I had 5. If I would have healed so I had 3 lethal, 4 ag, which would drop me. If I healed the 1, I would have only had, so it's 1 for 1, right? But if you do 4, I would be entering in the danger zone.
Yes, you're 2. Yeah, 2 if you healed all of your lethal that night.
Exactly.
But the chantry could provide you with 5. So,
allow me to heal the lethal.
but that's in while you're here, basically for the month. So, like, we'll give you this because you helped us on this.
I mean, you've got an hour till I come by. You'd have to hunt it as a penalty, with whatever your wound penalty is. But you could.
Or whatever 4. I mean, I could
That's a
effectively.
-2. That's not, I mean, I don't know what your.
I could effectively, depending on if I'm allowed to hunt after the 5, I would effectively get down to -1, which would be okay. But I'm still sitting on 3 ag versus.
I can help you ignore if we do get into a scuffle tonight. I can help you ignore the wound penalties. It doesn't mean that you won't.
That's almost like it's kind of like Die Hard and Pathfinder. Like you're kind of like, I can do that, but it also still means you're a massive target. You know,
right? I mean,
you could like die.
Any closer to death?
The guy holding his other
Exactly.
arm in his one arm. I think he's close to death.
Yeah, we should probably focus fire on that guy.
Right?
It's all internal. It's all boiled blood. Like, you
Right.
can't tell that his insides are hamburger.
True.
He looks like an over microwave hot dog. It's
Yeah.
just like it's split into
It's all like, it's probably.
Like a hot dog split in the microwave for
He's-
too long.
that's
It's just like
perfect.
he's got
He's-
like that.
He's totally split open at all of the
There's
all of the places with the closest like vein.
I should imagine
Arterial.
if you took that much ag damage from boiling blood, but you were supernatural like that. I imagine you probably would do something like this.
Yeah, threw him in a freaking microwave.
I
Yeah,
don't need it.
legit.
This is embarrassing.
Okay. So let's go into the next hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say after the hunt, I do a plan to meet at the chantry.
Yeah,
in an
and that
hour.
takes you about a half hour. It takes everybody about a half hour thinking about like the distances and stuff for the most part. I mean, give or take 15 minutes. So let's just start with let's start with you, Scott. So you do come up to the Watergate, and you have the valets take the vehicle, or maybe you're Ubering. I don't know. So the Uber just drives off, whatever. But you do get out and you do the usual with the security. They let you through. You go, into the elevators. You go down to a subfloor. You go, you walk along and go to another elevator up, and then to kind of like the penthouse suite. And you come out, and as always, I think you've been seeing this prince, but it's super lavish. Usually the prince's diggings are the princess's diggings are super lavish. This is no different. And so before these huge wooden double doors, very ornate carving, you're able to open it up to a nice, pleasant aroma. And before you, sitting at a desk, is Dolores with her glasses on, and she's dressed basically to very business professional, style with glasses, very narrow frame, and she's sitting there, and you see some other people waiting in the lobby area as you walk in off to your right, and then she's like directly ahead of you. She looks at you and kind of gives a little questioned eye as she's trying to kind of look you over. So
just introduce myself and
Okay.
say hello, Dolores. Steve Wazowski.
Mr. Wazowski, yes.
2:30.
Right on time, and we'll have you go on in. I have you only here for no more than 15 minutes. Is that going to work for you?
Perfectly fine.
Okay.
It'll be a yes or no
Usually
thing.
the prince, just to give you a heads up, but she kind of looks around. Some of the other people are kind of looking at you. You're getting kind of me-mugged by one of them because you've probably been waiting there for maybe at least one night, if not a couple. But not that you really care. She basically states that he usually, the way it works is you're going to present yourself as you would normally, and then present the coterie. Obviously, you said Black Sun, so that is the name is known around here. And then you're going to state what you wish, and he'll let you know if he does. And then the details are going to be worked out, usually with the secretary, with myself as a recorder. So don't be surprised if he grants it, or he'll say what he's willing to grant or what he's able to grant. It may not be exactly what you want, but depending on what you're asking. But we'll work out the details afterwards. But he's a busy man, so just to warn you. But go on in.
Okay.
Yeah, so you go through, again, even larger doors. Everything looks like they have gold inlay and stuff like that. And you open it up, and before you is still a staked and with Visqueen at the base of it on the old torture rack is the Marshall. No, not Marshall Hunter. I'm sorry. I need to get this right. Why can I not remember his name?
Who are we looking for?
Jonathan Drake. I'm sorry. I should have not skipped my mind, but it did. So he is still there. Everything at this point is dried up. You could see kind of a moonbeam going, somewhat on at an angle because it is 2:30 a.m. So it's not coming directly in, but exposing most of him to this. And beyond him, you see a series of armor and weapon displays and stuff from ancient times. And at a huge sort of oaken desk is the prince. So, and then at his side, you see a tattooed Asian man, and whom you've seen before, and that's basically what you see.
Okay.
Just you three in this pretty big area, and Julius Kennedy, Prince's name. He looks at you, and he does stand up, kind of takes his suit, and he says, "Welcome, Steve Wazowski."
Yes, thank you.
So you've made it official. You're a part of the Black Suns, then, he says as he starts walking towards you, just nonchalantly, right past Jonathan Drake, suspended there in a torturous form. But he doesn't seem to mind. And now the smell. They were trying to overcompensate with the nice smells, because in here it does not smell nice at all.
Yeah.
And in the Visqueen, as you're kind of looking, give me a perception and alertness roll.
Okay.
Well, difficulty 6. Oh, yeah. 5 successes. So you see what look to be a series of piles of ashes right in front of Jonathan Drake. And they're all in distinct piles of ashes. And you're pretty sure one of them you see what looks to be just a stake that's still laying there. Looks to be about 5 of them. And you do notice that it looks like Jonathan Drake does have what looks to be tears of blood or traces of them. They're not active. They're fully dried at this point, suggesting at one point he may have had his stake removed, because usually you're not crying when you're staked because you're completely paralyzed. But he does have those that as he's completely staked now and suspended up, very crucifix style. on this torturer's rack. So, but the prince walks by. You see the other man, the other kind of Asian tattooed man, looking at you pretty intently. Also very well dressed, and you see what appears to be, a sword and maybe the handle of a pistol sticking out from this sort of suit system that he has going on, kind of like almost like Neo. Yeah. Anyway. But he seems to be watching you pretty intently.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his hands near his weapons, though. Everything's sort of just off to the side, even crossed, as he's just sort of listening, and he doesn't move from the side, but the prince does, and the prince is like walking towards you, and kind of going on the opposite end of you, but sort of like looking at you and kind of reading you, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
To what degree, you have no idea. But anyway, so I hear you're here for a boon.
Yes, sir.
To cash in, huh?
Yes, sir. As you know,
That's-
I'm new here still, so I don't have a domain or any resources to my name in this area.
But you do come recommended from Boston, I understand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, good, good. Well, we're happy to have you. And Black Suns, well, its history has been fraught with emotion, is very effective. And so I think having someone like you and with your reputation is going to benefit us greatly. But go ahead and introduce yourself officially, and we'll get on with this.
Yes, sir. So, as you know, I'm Steve Wazowski, and I've been working with the Black Suns Coterie.
Clan, please.
Oh, Clan Gangrel.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. All right. And what is your boon, Mr. Wazowski?
Hoping to claim some of your resources and domain.
Resources and a domain. That I can very easily provide you. Is there anything in particular that you were looking at?
I was
Or do
hoping
you
to...
just want me, dealer's choice?
Well, I do have a request.
Excellent.
If that's okay.
Please.
I was hoping to set up something of an armory for the Black Suns. So,
An armory?
yeah. Anything in the way of proper garage or workshop to work on smithing.
Granted. Either way. Let's see how this works out. I actually have... he kind of looks over at the Asian gentleman in somewhat of a happy, plucky kind of surprise. For his part, the other gentleman looks back at him, but that makes no emotion on his face. We may be able to make use of that, actually. I'm interested in R&D. So doing some research and development to different kinds of weaponry. As you know, our war with the Sabbat is going to be coming to a head very soon, and having specific types of weaponry may be a game changer. It may save a lot of Camarilla lives in the end.
Yeah.
May force them to sue for peace and leave my fucking city. So, absolutely granted, and if you're willing to participate and help out the prince,
Absolutely.
please let me... You would? Excellent. Well then, let's get you started. This is exciting. I'm actually excited about this. He looks back. What do you think, Henry? Oh, whatever. Well, please go back and see Dolores. I'll send out the secretary to make sure that everything is taken care of and that you are rewarded for your service. And on behalf of the city of DC, I thank you.
Thank you.
All right. One more thing, as he kind of turns around and then he's walking, puts his finger up just like this. I gather from your bio that you have some dealings with certain infernal entities. Is this true?
It is.
Well, perhaps we could talk about this at length. I'm curious as to pick your brain, what you know about demonic entities in particular, and to know what it is that well, understanding that you've had a fairly negative experience with them, which is understandable, and I would imagine par for the course.
Right.
However, just like to get some details if you have some time. Perhaps tomorrow?
Sure. Set it up with Dolores?
Yes, please. All right. Well, thank you. It's a pleasure. Says, and then with that, he walks back and then looks to opening a file and starts writing something. For your part, I mean, you hear what sounds like a tiny little, like maybe a groan with your 5 successes that'll allow you to kind of carry out throughout the scene, coming from Jonathan Drake. And for his part, he's not facing you; he's facing forward. So you're kind of looking at from the side and from the back of him. But you do think you hear something along those lines. And it looks to be that the stake was not driven as deeply as you remember when he did the reveal. So remember the social event that he had where he basically revealed, hey, I have the Sabbat Elder, and you guys were kind of like, what the F, and he's paraded him in front of everybody, and the stake was almost driven all the way through. Basically like keeping him off the back of the table because it was so far through. This time his back is flush, and it looks like the stake it's probably through the heart, but maybe not too many successes through the heart.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So
He's barely
feasibly
staked.
still there.
Barely staked, I guess, is with your 5 successes. Yeah. And that since you're kind of walking around and talking with the prince while this is happening. And then after the prince turned his back, you kind of took a little, maybe you felt a little bit more comfortable and like looking and seeing what the situation is. That's what you know.
Okay.
Right?
So then we'll just stop off at Dolores and let her know that it was approved.
Yeah. So it doesn't take long, and then another gentleman comes up, and his name is Mark Fitzwater. And he bows. He has glasses, pretty tall gentleman, but maybe slightly below athletic build. So it looks like he could probably handle himself in a fight just by looking at him. Vampires are hard to tell anyway, but he looks to be the type that he could probably handle himself. But for the most part, he probably is dual rolled and maybe more on the accountant / handler side of things. But he comes back, his hair is slicked back, he has the glasses and a briefcase, old school style, comes out, opens it up on the table, and he basically looks through a series of files, pulls one out, and you could see on the, it's really nice files. These aren't just like little paper files. These are like full on like embroidered kind of files. They're leather files, and cow leather. So that's a lot. And it looks to be territory holdings, and that's the file label that you can see. Opens it up, kind of shuffles through it. He kind of looks at you and he says, so if I heard correctly, and I was listening in on your conversation, he says, states plainly, you're looking for an armory.
Yes.
So I do have, it depends. Would you rather to have a larger area, or would you rather have a better location and a smaller area?
Location sounds good.
The location? So smaller. Okay. So we could get you, and effectively this translates into the 5 background points that we talked about, spread between domain, resources, and also arsenal, as we talked about. So the one caveat is that he does mention, and you kind of work out the details because he shows you probably 4 different properties.
Yeah.
And he shows you, and they're probably, they're like domain 1, I think, or domain 2 at the most. Which one is, can someone look up domain 1 versus 2 real quick for me? In one of the books, or hand me one of the books there. Can you just hand me that book, John?
Okay.
Right in front of you. It'll take me like 2 seconds. All right. So, for domain.
Page 113.
Single small building. So it would be a 1. So you could do like a 1 or a 2, a church, a factory, or warehouse. So you're more leaning towards the 1. So the better location translates into the would translate into a higher resources and a higher arsenal.
Okay, then we'll go with that.
So if you wanted to do that, you can. But it's 5 points. And then the other thing that the secretary, Mr. Fitzwater, mentions or talks about expressly is says that, you know, with this contract, we're also going to have you have specific ties. So you did agree to that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Please sign here. And he gives you a form, and it's a pretty standard, like, you know, I agree to support the prince, you know, Prince Kennedy in the testing and manufacture of specialized munitions. And with this signature, it will be used to work with the FBI for the licensing that's going to be required and everything else. It will be under your name. However, understand that, you know, since you are signing on with the prince, and as long as you're under the prince's purview, you know, no legal action or other will come down upon you.
Okay.
So it's something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
So you sign?
Yeah.
Okay. So what that does is that provides you an additional 1 point of arsenal on top of everything else.
Okay.
So you actually will have 6 background points. So you can let me know which one you end up looking through and picking. And then we can talk about like the location and everything. But with its location, it's going to be like almost like downtown like area. So like I said, you could have like its own resources. Would be it would have pretty significant resources or arsenal. So you let me know. Domain 1.
Yeah. Domain 1, Arsenal 1, and then
For free, and
Yeah,
then 4 points to
I'm
distribute
pretty
as
set
you want.
on that. What we just discussed, like getting
Okay.
like a nice location downtown where it maximizes the resources available, so that we can do
Sure.
stuff.
Okay. So you're gonna do like 3 resources, 1 domain, and like 2 arsenal kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that
Okay.
sounds good.
Okay. Well, then they sign it over to you, and the only thing that's missing is, you know, you basically they're going to give you the deed. It's going to be under your name, so you're going to sign a couple times, and they have equipment. It's not there, so it'll take them about a week to get set up, but they're going to push it and try and get it within the week.
Yeah.
So maybe within 5 days, they're saying they can get all the different pieces of equipment because you're going to be working on your craft skill and that sort of thing, right? We talked about that. And the craft skill is very specific, just so you know. You take like, you know, weaponsmithing, or you take, you know,
Yeah, there's a specific gunsmith that I
Yeah,
looked up that's
gunsmithing. So that would be, and I would say that would cover
That'll cover
ammunition. But craft explosives would be explosives, just so you know. So that wouldn't fall under.
2 different things.
Yeah, they're 2 different crafts. So that's
But
good.
it would cover stuff like C4 grenades and exploding bullets, so correct?
Not grenades and not C4, but it would do like incendiary rounds. Here's the kicker too. So as you're going through after you sign, he then pulls out a different folder and says, please reach out to, he gives you the name.
I think they used to carry Molotovs to telekinetically even people.
Yeah, I mean, in Russell's game here, we put it around chainsaws, so why not?
There is strength +9.
Right?
Just like to throw that out there.
Chainsaw. If you float a
Dude,
chainsaw,
if you had a chainsaw, I would.
Whirling chainsaws at them.
Right. But while a
Totally.
vampire wielding a chainsaw is terrifying, I think floating chainsaw is just inherently scarier.
You'd be like Economos with the gorilla.
All right, so on the
Spinning
contact,
around.
it gives you a number, and at the end, in parentheses, it says Dr. Brian Taylor of Megadon Pharmaceuticals
It's a good thing those don't do
is going to be your contact.
They did.
Ryan Taylor.
Once you are set up, please contact him. He is going to go through what
It's a huge gashing
they can
scar.
provide in the form of ammunition subtypes and specialize in them. And we expect you, as soon as you're up and running, to do so.
Okay.
You are able to do whatever munitions you need to do, but the expectation is that you're going to have R&D constantly up, and the Prince does reserve the right to suspend or shift your resources over to another person should you fail to uphold your end of the bargain and provide him with necessary. Basically, we'll say, one case of specialized ammunition, a week, we'll say.
Okay.
So, well, 4 a month.
Okay.
That's a lot. Maybe 1 case a month. Because that's a lot for specialized ammunition. Yeah, one case.
Okay.
But they'll give you a 3-month grace period to learn and perfect it. Yeah.
Thanks.
But the same also goes for us too. If you want to do specialized, it's going to take just as long.
It's going to take a long time. Well, and then we'll get into the crafting. We'll
get
explore
it.
that when we go down there. But for now, you're not even going to be up and running. They can't even get all. So they have the warehouse is basically sitting there. Everything's hooked up. Everything's good. It's a perfect location. You could even open up as a gun shop. You'll have all the stuff in place.
Mm-hmm.
You can sell ammunition, guns, and stuff. Even though normally you wouldn't. It's more difficult in DC. But in this particular case, they'll have maybe you're just in the outskirts or something. It's still in a really good location. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Yep.
All right. So it takes you about a half an hour, like I said earlier, to get back to your home. And so everything looks normal on the outside. As you're pulling up, though, there's a couple things that you notice, like the fact that the entire door and locking mechanism for your door have literally been clawed out. And the door is slightly ajar.
Okay.
No lights on inside.
I go in cautiously and quietly.
Okay. What specifically does that mean? Are you just using stealth, or are you doing other things?
No, actually, I will bring some shadows around myself to help with my stealth. So I'm using tenebration.
Level first.
Just the personal. So it's
of course, because you're not dropping the.
And I know some of the neighbors probably have
sphere.
cameras, like house cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Wealthy neighborhood. So it's just bringing the night around me a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of like go up against the side of the house and then kind of skirt in the door that way, rather than just directly walking through the door.
Sure. Okay. So the first thing you'll smell is the smell of urine, very potent urine.
Wolves.
And yeah, it is noticeable even if you don't have aspects and sense. You do walk in and your house has been destroyed. Almost every furniture ripped apart. Any furniture that looks like it could have, a person-sized entity has been ripped apart. So you could give me a perception and alertness roll. Difficulty will be 4.
In that case, 5 successes.
Okay. So nothing really escapes you. You don't hear anything now.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of just, keeping your ear to the ground. You don't hear any massive, 9-foot tall slobbering creatures. But you also don't hear any movement or anything along those lines.
I'm gonna head towards the panic room.
Okay. It is closed and sealed, and it looks like there have been claw marks on it to the point where it barely scratched it, but it looks like, it's still significant, right? Because it still scratched it, but it didn't get very deep after multiple attempts right around the door mechanism. But even the door, because it's actually fused into the heart, that wasn't able to be, it's bent, but they couldn't rip it off.
Good, that's good that it held.
Yep.
Okay, that was a good investment, yes.
But it is closed and sealed, and you had a camera originally, but apparently they found it and ripped that out of the wall and destroyed it. The pieces of it barely recognizable now, but because of the number of successes, you were able to determine that. Yeah, that's all you have right now.
And she's thinking this to herself, likely did not realize it was a vampire's house, because there's nothing overt about that, and they wouldn't have thought she would have come to a vampire's house. So that may be some saving grace, but I'm going to put in the code for the panic room to open it.
Okay.
But I'm going to stand to the side just in case if there's anybody inside they come rushing out thinking they need to defend themselves. I'll stand to the side.
So it's a really good thing you say that. It opens and you hear someone scream a little bit, "Oh my God, here it comes, guys!" And all you hear is shots, pow, 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 and it goes basically the bullets all stream right in front of your face, And you're not sure. Well, let's roll for them, see if they heard you over the gunfire. Because you open it and they're just like,
I knew it.
man, hold your fucking aim, man. Hold your... Jessica, man?
Yes, I'm fine though.
Oh, shit.
Everybody
Man, you weren't
okay?
kidding. I'm glad y'all told us about this panic room.
Yes. And I'm glad it held. I wasn't sure if it would hold up against something like that. I tell them now. Oh my God, I wasn't so sure it was going to hold up. You're the test subject.
You guys are lucky.
Yeah, so, and you see the Army of the Pharaohs, they come out and have their, they actually have a rat with them. And then there's one cat.
Oh, where's...
So you see the sand colored one. You don't see the black one. And then you do see Dre.
Okay.
You do see Dre as well. And you do see two other people you've never seen before. They look terrified, including one of them that was the one that screamed.
Okay.
And she's sitting there cupping her ears and kind of in a fetal position in the corner.
Okay. Well,
We all made it.
It looks like it's clear.
Except one of the cats, but the cat escaped through the window.
Okay, good. Maybe Cyrus will help find him.
Through the window.
That's okay. I have a feeling we're going to sell this and move.
These ain't normal cats.
No, they're not.
Okay. I'm glad I was respectful. He kind of looks over and the cat's just like looking
Let's
at him.
just say they're sort of used to our kind. Okay. Man, I mean, sorry we didn't, defend it or nothing, but there were at least two of them. Yeah.
And we've heard stories.
They were looking for someone.
In fact, Dre told us a couple, and you see Dre like, yeah, man, we don't fuck with the lupines, man.
No, even one of them.
They don't like you.
Several of us.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, someone came here that they were tracking, and they obviously identified this house as harboring her.
All right.
So I'm going to do a quick sale. We're going to move. I will have space for everyone, though, and still have a finished basement for those people we talked about. And look at the other.
Well, how about this? Lady Cymbeline offered us a place to stay at her mansion, and we may have already put in a good word. You can come. I'm sure. I could ask.
Actually,
would you like
that
to?
May be...
Until you can get your sales final. You know what I mean, fam?
I would appreciate that, and I actually will take you up on that. I do know.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They all look like excited. Like, we can do that, sis. We got you. And, with that, they kind of step out and the two other ones that, look pretty frail and the woman and the man, both of them look terrified, and they both kind of peek out and see like just the claw marks on like the steel.
Yeah. And
the, room just basically gutted, and then they kind of go back in the safe room and wait there, and you see one of the guys is like, yeah, y'all just wait here. Y'all wait here. We gotta make sure this place is clean. All right, man. Let's earn our fucking keep. Let's go clear this space. You with us, Jess?
Yes.
All right. Sure enough, you guys do clear it. There are no werewolves. One of them did take a steaming pile in your bedroom. It was whatever room you guys were doing the dressing up.
Oh.
So there's literally a pile of crap there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. But for the most part, the house is clear. So, shifting over to Ward.
Double baggers.
Ringill, are you online?
Yes, can you hear me?
There you go. Yep, I can hear you.
All right.
So we're unfortunately, I wasn't expecting you. And your guys pretty much finishing the night in the ground. So.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's just not going to be done for you to do just yet, but we will get there. We're going to finish up this night, and then tomorrow night we're going to talk about it. So Ward, you make your trip to back to the Chantry.
However, you did miss the personal appearance by me.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. He's here at the table.
He's in your spot, man.
He's in your spot. He's taking it. You weren't here to fight him off.
It was really weird. He rubbed himself over the chair first to like clean it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I put my balls on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's par for the course, though.
Using your arcane ability or something?
Oh, that's what they were? I couldn't tell.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't like you anymore. That was a good one.
They're so big.
You left
Right?
me open. What did I do?
I did. I walked right into that one.
Oh, well played. Well played. All right. So Ward, yeah, you do get back to the Chantry. The two gargoyles look down on you, but they don't do much else other than just acknowledge that you can tell they're looking at you with their eyes.
A friendly way.
Yep. And you see one of them, Vi, does nod with her head, her massive spiky head, and you enter the Chantry. And so you see one of the acolytes sitting there cleaning, sweeping away in front of you. And knocking down some of the cobwebs and stuff.
Yeah, do we, when we go to the Chantry, do we usually have like a greeter or a front door person?
Nobody knows it exists.
Right, yeah.
Most of the time. I mean, a couple of it.
So
For you guys, no. It's just everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Unless it's like you announce yourself and you texted, which I would imagine.
I'm going to have to track down Styles. At some
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
Which is fine. I would have just asked if we had a front door person. I would ask him where Styles is, but that's fine. I'm actually going to go find go check on Vincent first.
Yeah.
Make a quick pit stop before I begin anything else.
Okay.
So I'll just shoot him a text and let him know that I'm in the library, and I'll start reading up on. He'll find me, sitting there with my book while I wait for him to haul his ass out of bed.
Okay. So sure enough, the door opens, and you're kind of in an infirmary kind of setup. It's like Hogwarts in a way. Multiple beds here, and one vampire that is kind of an attendant for you and anybody else that would be wounded, more or less left over from kind of the more violent days, but still something that the Chantry actually keeps up. Thankfully for you. And that's where they pull the blood from. That's actually like fucking old. You have no idea how old, but it tastes old. It's not like a wine that ages. It's just blood that you're kind of like chunky and stuff. Yeah, it's like spoiled milk. But anyway, you do have the door that does open, and standing before you is a ward-like figure who comes out from darkness, and indeed, Ward is standing there in front of you.
Oh, I back him. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, I'm completely obfuscated, and then I just appear in front of you. You open the door.
The door opens.
In the hallway,
You're like, fuck, nobody's here.
Yep.
What happened?
And as soon as you go to close it, I'm standing right there, and you're going to invite me in? Isn't that the protocol here?
Well, yeah, if you appear right in front of me, stop fucking doing that. I picture being my blood boiled as physical. The physical things you could see would be probably like bloodshot eyes, probably.
We were talking about that. You have like, with the amount of damage, like you look like you were a hot dog thrown in a microwave for too long. Like you are split at the seams in a way, and like because you haven't healed that up yet.
Right.
You're beet red, like burned red, around your body, but under the skin, so it's kind of blistery and other things. So it's you definitely can tell you have aggravated damage, but it's not like you lost limbs or anything like that.
Right. And at that point, with the 5 blood given to me, 5, I heal 3, so I'm down 8. If I heal 1 egg, I would be down to 3. I'd be down to 3, to 3 eggs. Sorry, so I'd be at 3 egg. So I'm still pretty beat up looking for sure. What is this about family? Explain this to me, please.
Hear me out before you react.
That's a great way to start it.
Vincent kind of turns and just But sits down back on his bed.
Let me do the preamble first here. It's better that you understand the context before I give away the big reveal here. So it's like this. Ringo, being Ringo, was out frolicking with satyrs or whatever it is he does in his off time, creating havoc for the rest of us. And I got a call apparently from your friend Riley, who I only met that one time briefly, but seemed like a nice girl. Apparently got a call from her, or worse, I guess the DCPD gave him a call, said she asked for him, found her in a ditch or something, pretty gravely injured. So not knowing what to do, he stuck a Band-Aid on it, being an amateur, you know.
Literally.
Yeah, stuck a Band-Aid on it and then called the rest of us for help. So we met him over at Jessica's place, which is starting to get pretty busy as a flop house these days with the Toreador there and Dre, our little buddy from the other side of the river. And so we figured why not add one more. So we brought Riley there. And you can see that Ward is conscious of the fact that he's probably trying to test his patience a little bit by being so roundabout. But he keeps going, presses on. So he brought her there, we met her there, looked her over, and I'll be honest, I don't know the first thing about werewolf physiology. I can tell you if she were a normal human, which at the time that's what she looked like, but she looked like she should have been dead already. I assume werewolves have a higher constitution than most, so, you know, she wasn't. She was still breathing, but I couldn't tell you how close to death she was. I don't know how durable they really are, but she should have been dead if she were a normal human. That much I can tell you. Didn't botch it though.
Didn't botch.
But what the hell do we know?
Like she's
her,
fine.
You know, yeah.
Just
So,
get up and walk. You're fine.
So at the end of the day, she was asking, practically begging Ringo to turn her. Said that her pack, the werewolf equivalent of a clan, I guess, her pack was going to come kill her. They had done this to her. And that they were going to find her this time, and they would track her down no matter what. And we, as you guys explained, she has some sort of ability to track things unnaturally. So I believe her. I imagine they could find her no matter where she is. But she did say if she wasn't herself, they couldn't find her. Like if she maybe weren't a werewolf anymore, if she were something else. And she begged him to change her. And I'll tell you, it looked like she was on death's door. And you know how I feel about being killed. I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and it's a gift. I don't buy into this whole curse thing. But Ringo does. We had a little bit of a disagreement, and I pushed the issue. Needless to say, it ended up in my favor. That the vote was, let's say, 3-1. And yeah, so we ended up turning her, and we took her out. We took her out to the park out by the Dumbarton Oaks Park, on the woods, not in the facility, of course. I don't know. And I guess the reason we ended up there was because some of her friends showed up at Jessica's place, and we barely made it out of there. Hauled ass in Heinrich's van, which
chase sequence in the van.
Yeah, still looking good. You know, they didn't lay a claw on it, and I didn't crash it. Never mind what Jessica tells you. But yeah, not a scratch on the van, not a scratch on us. We made it to Dumbarton Oaks, which was, as far as I know, the most werewolf-proof place I could think of. So, but we did get away from them, so we didn't have to enter the facility. So they're off. They sunk into the dirt, and she's undergoing a transformation to whatever it is she's going to be. So and I, for one, can't wait to find out.
So backpedaling in Vincent's mind, he did make the roll on the occult roll. He knew that she was a werewolf. He found out.
Yeah, with everybody. Yeah.
And knowing
you can make an intelligence occult roll now. Difficulty will be 9. Because this is really obscure.
1.
You have heard legends that you can combine the two, but they are just that, like legends, and it usually ends up in the entity being called an abomination. And usually they descend into madness and murderous rages.
And both factions want to kill them.
And both factions, like.
Well, maybe I wouldn't know that.
You wouldn't know that. Why would one?
Yeah.
Well, you know that it usually ends in a spectacularly violent and particularly gruesome end for pretty much everyone involved. with that role, but that's about all you'd know, and that's legend though. And you're like not sure how that would work. You haven't heard, you don't know of any names, no contemporary examples, no, not even a cousin of a friend of a brother, none of that. You have just heard through readings that something exists, and not even necessarily that both sides hunt them down. Just that they tend to not last long because depending what their natural form is, but even that you wouldn't know. So very limited. They have existed, or you believe they've existed, and that's about the extent of it.
So that's where we're at. Just word of the wise, Ringo may be a little sore about the whole subject. I kind of pushed the issue a little bit. So,
A little bit.
And so they are on the ground now.
They are in the ground now. She is, as of this evening, undergoing a transformation. Which, like I said, I am excited to see the results of. I think she'll be better off in this new life. Or at very least, it'll be spectacular and for Ringo. Whichever happens first. I would not have been buried with her. I can tell you that much.
Ringo's gangrel, I know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He joined her. He took her down with her earth meld deal that he does, and so that's where we're at. Now, I'm here to. I've got a little bit of a job here. I got to do a little nerd research project with my higher up here, but I figured I better stop in and let you know the good news that we either might have an opening if they wake up and she decides to eat him. Which, God, I hope I'm there to watch that. Or
what's your humanity? 1.
Negative. Can it go negative?
Incidentally, if you wanted to roll perception and, I don't know, occult medicine.
Empathy.
Yeah, if you wanted to roll.
Perception and empathy. That's what it would be.
You know me pretty well. I'd say you probably.
I believe that shit
5.
out of water.
Yeah. So Ward is definitely looking a little bit less
more pale than he has previously.
Well, his cheeks are a little bit more sunken, or maybe his eyes. He's got that like slightly, Yeah.
Your friend is falling.
I don't know, dude. He's a fucking keeper.
Yeah. What? You killed one fucking human.
He's got, for him, it manifests definitely as more of that, like, almost slightly more manic, slightly more obsessed look about him. Like, his eyes are a little bit more sunken in their sockets, and he's just got a little bit more of an intense look to him, and a little bit more sunken face. So almost like if he were like a mad scientist sitting up at night studying crazy experiments making Frankenstein. Which to him, this is a great Frankenstein moment. Like,
Yeah.
Let's find out. I'm so glad I can fly because I want to be there when it happens, but I do not want to be within walking distance.
Ward, we need to bring him back.
I think I did her a favor, so.
I can't say that you didn't. Quite honestly, if her pack wanted her dead, that is quite honestly probably the best way to save her from that.
If she is all there when she gets up, she'll be more powerful than ever before, and good luck to them.
Well, you understand that there is a side effect to that, right?
We know who knows. Has any of us seen it firsthand?
No.
But we're about to.
And that could be a very, 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 very bad thing, or it could be a very,
Ringo
very,
can
very
become a
good thing.
bad. He can get out of there, hopefully, fast.
At this point, Vincent's not even worried about Ringo. The fact that what he did is kind of like one of those, that is a no-no. You did not get permission. Especially because Vincent is under the prince's thumb, right? I mean, he knows.
They're gonna
Vincent
have to-
knows, like, dude,
You don't know
if
if he had his-
but if my name's tied to it, my ass is on the line. Okay?
Sure. Well, technically, your ass isn't. It's your primogen who takes your punishments.
Right, which I would be like this. That fucker did it right there. Tear him apart.
By the by, we haven't mentioned it to anybody, and at this time have no plans to, at least for the moment, until we find out what comes of it. So, there's that.
Treading on thin ice, Ward.
I mean, Ringo is. I was just in there as a bystander to the whole thing.
Fucking Ward's gonna be like, it wasn't my idea at all. It was his idea. He did this whole thing. I didn't have anything to do with it.
The thing we need to take into account, my friend,
Straight
is
up.
that
I told her not to.
Coterie is responsible as us as a coterie.
I was responsible.
things that happened to one happen to us all. And my ass is already in a slave with the prince.
Oh, well, I suppose other good news on that front.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
we did talk to our dog, and I will let you know that we have a small job. You remember our buddy? You probably don't even remember his name, but you remember Brian Taylor, nerdy-looking human guy, holding a clipboard last
Give me
time.
an
Saw him.
intelligence check if you don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, 8-1.
8 and 1.
Well, no, 8.
Oh, 8
and
1
2.
1 success.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So you vaguely remember the name, and as he's describing, you think it might be the doctor that Heidi had been hitting on at the Pentex facility at Megadon Pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our appointed task is to just track him down and find out where he is. I think we have some ideas to take it one step further that our dog will approve of and will not end in disaster this time. To really pick him for information and leave him none the wiser. But we'll get to that. We're kind of hoping he'll be able to join us tomorrow night. But yeah, so that's the news. Oh, and I did while we were talking to our dog, I did get a and Ward kind of looks around. He's sort of thinking about whether he should be discreet. I read his mind. I had to be sure. He can't.
You can't quit fucking me over, can you?
I have to be upfront about this one. I did read his mind because I had to know where he stood, and I got the distinct impression that he is still the R-Dog we know. He is loyal to sort of his principles and his people before, well, his prince, as far as that goes. So I think we can count on him as long as we don't fuck him over. I think we can count on him to have our back should we find ourselves in a bad spot, as long as we've done our part to keep him out of the fire.
Last time we got our dog involved in anything, he pays the ultimate price.
Well, he's edging around trying to keep us out of something. He has suspicions. He didn't know anything for a hard fact, but he has us poking around with Brian Taylor over at Megadon, and he has suspicions about what the prince is up to there, and is worried about us kind of involving us too much. I think he's trying to find out, using his new position, find out what it is that the prince is doing, which I think we should do everything we can to assist him with. So that's based on what I found up in his noggin. Maybe don't mention to it that I was screwing around up there. Probably wouldn't take it too kindly, and I would never do that to you, of course. I see.
Even though I know you're lying.
Right? Based on the look on his face, I see that had not occurred to you previously. I just want to assure you. I mean that completely sincere.
Which now pretty much that says he probably has or will.
Poke around a couple
Pretty
of times.
much every time he meets you.
What's going on up here, Vincent?
Get your cost of willpower per reading, so that is
it is.
expensive. You can expect once a chronicle or a story. Okay?
In critical times.
Yeah.
And that was a good use of it.
I'm down to one. Okay?
You picked
I'm
up some
down
good
to
stuff from that. So.
Yeah. I gotta be selective about this. Can't just go willingly and be like, oh, he's thinking about a steak sandwich and I can't eat those anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and on that, really quick side note,
Yeah.
step back out of character. Don't forget, I've had one person email me or text me about willpower regain following a session. You can always do that. But I recommend before every session, go ahead and look at your nature and demeanor and just remind yourself how you regain in willpower because it is important.
It is very important, especially considering the last game we ran with Russ. It was extremely rare to get it back.
And I'm a little bit more generous, but it does have to somewhat fit the description though. So just, keep that in mind.
And just so I understand, that wasn't like an automatic one per session. That was...
No, willpower is not gained. You gain all of your willpower back at the end of a story.
Right.
And then otherwise, in between sessions, I'll grant 1 or 2 willpower or more, depending on how well you played into your nature or demeanor.
Which is proving to be...
I'd like to amend that, though, if I could.
How would you like to end?
I would like to amend that to also include your concept. Because it does give you 3 options in that area: nature, demeanor, and concept.
Technically, V20 only gives you willpower for nature. It doesn't even give you demeanor, so I already allow additional. Yeah. I'll consider it. I'll think about it because it does make. I mean, concept is. I mean, but that's always going to be a give me like every session, though, right?
Not necessarily, because mine's like mob boss.
Yeah.
Not a mob boss anymore.
Yeah.
But others are like
scientist, which is never going to happen.
well, nobody could though, because if you get involved with something to do with that,
I
want it.
Yeah, you're going to be developing new ammunition types, so.
And my nature and demeanor actually play into my concept. It's actually kind of tied up into what.
I'll look at them and I'll think about it. I hear what you're saying. It would be an additional way of doing it. And the other thing too would be if you have something maybe that really plays into your concept, I would consider that not just you playing, but like an actual event that happens in game that like you become a mob boss again. Then I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna grant you X number of willpower points or something. I think I would let's go with that for now, and then we'll see how it plays out.
Because otherwise, the concept, in my opinion, means nothing other than a back.
It's RP, it's fluff, but I hear you. You can put a little bit of meta rolled into that.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you have something in your concept and you want to, but don't forget, you can always text or email me.
Sure.
Or talk to me during the session is even better. At the end of the session is fine too. Usually everybody's trying to skedaddle. Okay, so
so Vincent's
back in.
Trying to soak all the information in. he understands. He does have a soft spot for Riley because again, to him, she's a child. She did do extraordinary things for us as a coterie.
And she seemed to genuinely enjoy being with you guys.
Right.
And multiple times she said, I feel more alive with you guys than I do with
dead people versus
exactly.
her
own
child of guidance.
People.
Kind of thing,
yeah.
So
you do remember that, many of those discussions. There was a couple of them.
So in that aspect, Vincent is actually relieved that she is not dead. Ordinary terms of dead.
Dead.
Yeah. Versus
Permadead.
But he's also now, you can see festering in him an anger that her pack did that to her and left her in that state. To where, like, it almost didn't have a choice. Like, she was going to die if that didn't happen.
Yeah. And
so
someone made sure that.
So Vincent is pretty sharp about that and really wants to.
I'll let him soak this part up.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'm not. I didn't. You didn't hear any of that.
One revelation at a time.
You didn't hear a booming voice. What did you do, Ray?
What did you do, Ray? What did you do?
Oh, you're gonna hear, I'm sure, from Ringo when you see him.
Oh,
actually, if you want, I would say it's fair to ask.
It was interesting that you were gone that session.
You rolled enough successes on your perception and empathy. If you wanted to, you see that he is keeping something out of there.
The detail.
Yeah, he's
I rolled a 5.
I know that's what he's telling you now.
So I will tell you.
Yeah.
You did see that he seems to be keeping something. Maybe not a lie. It doesn't feel like a lie. It feels like he might just be circling around something. So if you want to ask him directly, you're more than welcome to.
We'll leave this up to chance. Higher low.
Do we want Vincent to frenzy?
Higher low.
We'll go high.
Go high. Okay, well, he doesn't ask you.
All right.
He doesn't ask you what you're holding back.
He respects my
sees it.
privacy, which is good because I respect this. Just
It's fair. That's funny.
I do have some things I got to attend to, so I can't stick around too much longer. But yeah,
And everybody else is alive.
Everybody's doing great.
A fair question.
Yeah. I think we may want to check on Jessica first thing tomorrow night because the wolf did find her house, and I don't know how much attention they paid to it or how important that's going to be, but I would be a little antsy about it.
You can make a perception and alert. Both of you can make perception and alertness rolls while you're having this conversation. 56.
1.
You're pretty sure you hear something from down the hall, but not much. You hear the sound of footsteps coming in your general direction.
Poke my head at the door.
You see Malaeus, Magistrate Malaeus. He's coming up, and he's looks like he has some blood on his hands. And you see he's kind of fixing his hair a little bit, and doesn't seem to notice you right away as he's kind of walking in your general direction. Looks up and sees you, and then kind of nods his head up to get your attention.
Vincent, we'll have to catch up a little bit later. My appointed task is here, so I'll catch up with you in a bit. Magistrate?
Yes.
Just coming to see you, actually, after checking in with my crispy
Excellent.
friend.
Are you ready?
I think so.
The question. How much do you trust Vincent? We could certainly use assistance in holding position. But I'll leave you to determine if we can pull him in on this or not. I don't know him, but I do know he has incredible strength.
I think I trust him to trust my judgment.
Okay.
So I would say that's probably it. And I trust
You hear
his
this
strength.
conversation happening in the hallway.
You're right. I was in earshot.
Yeah, I fucking hear you. But you do see the Magistrate Malleus comes around, who's basically the leader, or one of the main leaders of the whole chantry. He's the main guy you've been dealing with for the most part. He's the one that has been in charge of the interrogation of Shayna. He's that guy. So he kind of peeks his head around the corner. He's like, Mr. Vincent, we have something that, given that you have been making maximal use of our infirmary, we were wondering if you might be able to help us out with a simple task that doesn't require us to leave the premises.
Vincent stands there, of course.
It would be of the utmost discretion, however. Is that acceptable to you? I won't make you sign anything in blood. I'll trust your word.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay. Please follow me then. Ward, go get your finest robes, your arcane hat, and I need you to... He literally says all of that. That is not a joke. And actually, you do have a couple of different robes. So you have like your occult, you have your formal wear, your arcane, and then your laboratory wear, right? And they all have like, so it's just everybody at the chantry does. And they do have different hats associated with it too. It's to get your mind in it, and you know it's kind of bullshit, but it's more or less a focus, and it just adds to the whole thing. But Malleus takes it very seriously. So as you know,
I will put on appearances.
yeah. So you just break off, and then Malleus looks at you, Vincent. It's like, you could just follow me. I'll explain to you what's happening, just so that you are aware. So Ward has been busy with some of the help of your own coterie of gathering up materials, and well, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I happen to have a very old recipe for the creation of gargoyles. So we're going to be executing that tonight with the very Shimizi that you all captured, who is currently in our dungeon, and with the materials that Ward summoned, and you guys are like walking and talking, including the stone from, this was like session 2, if you'll remember. This was like almost over a year ago.
He wasn't even there.
He might have.
There was
Might have
Heinrich.
been.
Heinrich was there, and Ringo was there, but Vincent wasn't there that evening.
The bats, the stone from a historically significant earthen fort, as well as the apical meristem of the tallest tree in a grove. And with all of those and my knowledge of the arcane, we are going to allow Ward to attempt to create a chowder that he would otherwise not be able to create, he says, smiling and not really caring that he just gave away like a personal. It's like your mom telling, like, I got pictures of him naked. That's kind of what's happening here, but he doesn't seem to care. He's pretty excited from what you could tell, and it's not hard to tell. I'm not going to make you roll. But he seems to have a pep in his step. Normally he's very quiet and reserved, and you don't hear him say much of anything except whispering to Ward on the side for everybody. And they're just watching. So this, you see him very active, and you see he has he's like taking off what looks to be another robe, and underneath he has like a starry, like no bullshit, like a starry robe. It's beautiful though. I mean, it's very like
Robe of the Archmagger.
kind of. It would be the equivalent. Not quite. But he is kind of just stripping it off and like literally leaving it on like the stone curved stairwell. And you guys go down and down, and you didn't even actually know this stairwell existed before. You're kind of looking like you're like, wait, I don't remember any of this. This is like hewn stone and holy shit. So you do just seems like go down maybe like 3 floors or something. Until it literally planes out. It's very dirty here. You're pretty sure you hear the squeak of a rat, though you see none. And you go through, and he opens this large wooden door that barely, fits. It's pretty, oblong, but seems to be, sealing off. And it opens up into almost this almost looking like a natural cavern, with a series of look to be like literally iron cages that are situated, and then it has like a huge, for lack of a better term, altar, stone slab altar, like to the point where you could probably fit like 5 people on there, with a series of arcane markings both on the altar itself as well as around, or situated lots of circles, lots of different geometric patterns, and then arcane symbols arranged along those lines throughout the whole room.
Torch lit?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have it no other way.
Yeah. Yep. It
There's
is.
no. There's no.
You're pretty sure it's an electric starter though, because he switched it, and then they all like.
That's weak.
Yeah.
Magic users.
Why do you think I don't need to waste blood on that? Setting everything on
It's
fire. Clap on. That was like the greatest invention from the 90s, he says. Surprised it kind of went away. Well, it just changed. Like everything.
Right, we love like the Tremere, their entire system.
So you're down
on
to-
the clapper.
You're down to like -1 dice, right? Essentially,
Yes.
yeah. Because you said 3 health levels down. All ag, but they're all only 3. So with the -1, just keep that in mind.
Yep.
He says, I'm going to need you, because this works better when we don't have any kind of metallic interference. It needs to be the earth, or it needs to be natural. So flesh is better to hold her down. And as you're kind of walking at one of the end cages, indeed you see the staked form of the female.
Sharon, right? Or Sharice.
Shayna.
Sorry.
No. This isn't Shayna.
Or not Shayna. Yeah.
This is not
We didn't
Shayna.
get her name.
You didn't even get her name. You have no. It was the Sabat that Shayna ran past, and then she was the one that like exploded your ribcage, right? And then you guys, Ward, ended up, I think, staking.
You actually,
You-
I staked her.
And then you
Because
picked her up.
Yeah.
The same
one you
woman.
carried for me.
Okay.
And he says, so,
That's right.
would you mind
Juggernaut.
being my restraints?
Do you need me in my other form?
The strongest, the better. And we'll compensate you for your usage of any powers.
You'll see Vincent kind of steady himself and just.
Okay. For his part, Malaeus, you could give a perception and empathy roll. Difficulty will be 7 because it's him.
2.
He is slightly taken aback by the fact that you have this power, it seems like. And he's very surprised almost at it, looking at it. It's almost like he has like almost a flashback. And he kind of looks, sideways for a second, and then he just completely gets control of himself and thinks nothing of it. But for a second, he does. He's kind of like, "Whoa, shit!" And he's like, "Wow, you have that. Okay, that's how this is going to be."
Do you mind? He will look at.
And then
he'll look at
Ward, you're coming down.
Well, I was going to ask you a quick question about the
Yes.
Do you mind if Ward has begun to customize it?
No.
Okay, because I'll send it to the group text, but he comes down in
No. It's the cut and the form, and it's actually expected that you will customize in your own arcane, but it has to be arcane.
So take a look at the picture. Tell me what you think. I was thinking black trench coat with white symbols instead of white.
Did you put it on DC?
No, I shot it to your.
To text.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because it's such a pain to load the pictures to Discord.
Oh yeah. I have no issues with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, robe length. I mean, like ankle length trench coat. Black,
It would be, yeah. It's
white
not.
symbols,
It's not
and
frizzy
things.
like you have it on the
No,
bottom.
that's just, that is a good
ratty
example,
tatty.
but- Right.
No,
Fresh
it's-
and everything.
Okay.
full blown like matrix length, but it's got in its hand painted symbols in white. Looks a bunch of geometric. Some of it's some sort of script, but it's all a bunch of exactly what you see there. Big old eye in the back, and that what looks like diagrams and stuff.
So I would imagine as you're coming down the stairs with your robe on, you see either Vincent doing his thing or right after he did his thing.
Yeah, probably right after, but you've seen this form before. It's very distinct.
He will look back at you and go.
And for his point, Malaeus is just kind of looking up at him at this point. And then he just goes back and looks at you, and he's like, "Excellent, Ward." He kind of yells, and it echoes through.
Vincent, I see you're wearing your best as well.
All right, and he pulls out like this ring of massive iron keys, and then selects one, fits it in, and opens up this gate of the massive iron cage. And then he looks at you, and for his part, he's kind of like looking at your dimensions versus the door dimensions. And then he just like lifts out and lifts up this, because she's not all that heavy, and uses movement of the mind to bring her around. So he'll burn a blood point on it. Brings her around and then lays her on the slab. So, Ward, let's walk you through this. I'm going to talk to you about how this is going to be, and we talked about the amount of blood that you need to supply and how much you're going to be giving. So we're going to need to do probably about two hours each night worth of incantations. We'll be using Vincent for this as well to hold her down. So it is going to be a while for you, Vincent. I hope you can hold that form for a while. I see a nod. Good.
Done in one evening if I have sufficient blood. The ritual takes 2 for sure.
2 nights of 6 blood, right?
Well, I just let you know I have 19 blood total when you add in the 4 that I've got in my reserves.
Okay.
So that's why he's asking, because he's wondering.
You need to fill her at the
her generational.
Her generational.
I would be down to 4. Probably safer if I just do.
But it's over 2 nights, is what he's saying. So you don't have to use it all one night. It's better if you stagger it. You do half and half, or you could do 3 nights. It just means that you'll have to do the 2 hours the 3rd night as well.
Yeah, 2 is fine. I think 2 nights is fine.
Okay. And you all talk about this openly right now. In fact, while she's standing there like staked, and just her eyes are open, and she's kind of looking over at you guys, but can't move. So I have your materials that you originally collected that first day, and he looks over around the back of this altar. He brings you along, and sure enough, you see that stone slab. You see the apical meristem of the tree, and then you see basically the cage with the bats. So the way this works is we're going to have Vincent. And it's good that he's actually bigger, because then we have more room to move. We have, and you actually you had more than 1 bat too, didn't you?
I thought a couple, yeah.
Yeah. So that works out well too.
But the first thing I'm thinking is, damn, it would have been a lot easier if Pringle had known his animal talking trick back then.
Yeah, would have been. You could just talk him into it and then fuck him over.
Yeah.
So he explains that in all cases, basically until the ritual is done, the stone slab is going to be on her person. So it's going to be in between basically you and her. You're going to use the stone to hold her down. We have to unstake her. There is a chance that she comes out, and because once you start feeding her, she'll have blood. That's why we need you to hold her. Once we get past the 2 hours, we can stake her again, so you don't have to hold her until the next day. But once we're doing it, we have to pull it out again. So we can't have her staked during this, otherwise it won't take. So we're going to get the stone slab in place. You're going to take your position on top of her, holding her down on the...
Are there cameras?
Of course there are cameras.
This is actually on OnlyFans for
Yeah.
vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You're about to see some massive fandom here.
Famous.
So the interesting thing is we're going to put the apical meristem in her mouth, and
It's a piece of a plant, by the way. I had to Google this shit.
yeah, it's the growing part of the plant.
It
just constantly grows. But I'm telling you exactly what he's saying. You could take it. Your character's like.
He made me fly on trees to go get this shit.
Yeah.
If Lord Form could smile,
Yeah, he's just like, man, this just got really fucked up. And then it's going to be basically taking the bat, and then each night you sacrifice. You can sacrifice the bat and save like 1 blood, so you have to have that mixed in, and then basically it's like fed into into her mouth along with the apical meristem, and then with the stone, everything melds together once the ritual is completed, and then you have the formation of a gargoyle. The wonderful thing about this is it takes away one of our powerful enemies and transforms them into a powerful ally. So I understand if this is not necessarily in our morality, super high on morality, but it seems like we're okay. And this is a much better fate than just having her destroyed.
Oh, as far as Vince is concerned, that bitch can die.
She fucked you up.
I know. He's taking kind of pleasure in this, to be honest.
Yeah. So that's the plan. If you're all good with it, and then basically I'm going to have you repeat after me throughout these, 4 to 6 hours. 4 hours sounds like, spread over the 2 days, and then you're going to have a new Chelder. I've already gone through, submitted to the prince. And talk to him about our creation of a ghoul in service of the Chantry under your supervision. So that will not be a problem. So let's begin. No, it's a full vampire. It's a gargoyle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, gargoyles.
Yeah.
I will approach her snake for the moment, and if I could just for a moment before this.
Yeah. He's getting ready. He's going to get like incense and stuff like that. He's going to start arranging them radially. And he's going to leave you alone because he's just deep in thought trying to memorize the passages because it's been a while since he's done it, and he'll still say that. So, and he has his book. He's getting a nice. I don't know where the fuck those are coming from, but he's going to get his pedestal, and he'll. It's carved very similarly. Give me an intelligence check.
Occult or no occult?
Occult. Sure. It's memory, just intelligence.
2.
Okay. It seems to be carved in much the same style as what you remember Evan and what he crafted, the kind of teeth out of wood that came to a point to hold the cursed gem.
Okay.
It's carved in a very similar manner, but it has a flat platform that's sort of beautifully carved as well. Which he puts the spellbook on. But you do notice similarities between there, and you're kind of guessing there's some link there because it's too alike to necessarily be, accidental.
Maybe a link in like technique.
Yeah.
Okay.
And style, more style.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you do notice that. So, without further ado, he asks for you because it's a fucking big stone. To lift the stone and now put it on her, situated anywhere on her body so that it's maximally covered, but it's not because we have to have easy access to the staking.
And before we get started, Ward will lean into her and just very quietly, so that only really she hears, just sort of speak into her ear and just tell her, I want you to understand before this begins that this is a form of death for you. Who you are today will be gone forever, and you'll have a chance at a new life. You will not be a slave. I don't believe in slaves, and would rather have a willing ally than a bound tool. But this is a far better fate for you than simple destruction would have been, and I think you have a chance to redeem yourself and have a new on life. So I hope that comes as some sort of comfort to you.
Okay. She can't respond, so.
No, yeah, didn't expect one. He just is kind of saying it for his own benefit there.
All right.
Because he's 4.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about you, but I'll talk you up a little bit.
Actually,
you do.
Statement.
I know. I'm just kidding.
As far as he's concerned, she was a corrupt and evil thing, and he is giving her a chance to completely wipe away all her sins and become something new, a totally new person with no memory of all of whatever bad things she was with his meaty. She's going around reshaping people's faces and shit. She's probably done some really bad stuff. So this is actually another gift. Just so happens that it also comes with wings. So that ought to be cool too.
Mm-hmm.
And words stand for wings, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So for your part, you take position and go ahead and give me your strength and potence roll.
Don't fuck this up, Vincent.
4,
Do you need
7,
to get this?
4,
Restrain the patient.
7,
That's it.
11.
It's cost me a lot of blood, buddy. and Heinrich almost gave it up an arm to a werewolf to get this rock.
Oh, -1. Sorry.
So think him against it.
Fuck you, 1. What the fuck?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, 1 success.
1 success. Oh my god.
All right. Well, you hold her down for now. It's going to be an extended.
Wasn't that thing with the rock?
Would you just spend some blood on that potence there, buddy?
I've got 4 left.
Yeah.
You want to see
That
a
wouldn't be
really
good.
pissed off hardcore or what?
Fucking yeah.
No, because once I start feeding her blood, I don't want you to get hungry.
Right?
Okay. So you think you have a good hold on her?
This is for her, not for you, Vincent.
Yeah. So you. So basically now you unstake her because she was in torpor anyway. She had no blood. That's why she dropped. They just did the stake as a thing. There's a couple layers to this, but he basically has Ward unstake her. You're just to stay there and hold her as best as you can, even with your feet, basically as much as you can, but then keep it off so that the stone's underneath you. She's here, stake's here. So I'm assuming you pulled it out. So you do pull out the stake, and then he says, provide her with as much blood as you can for now, and then we will begin.
Okay, so am I sacrificing the bat right now to reduce it by 1, 2?
The bat and the apical minor stem happens at the end.
Okay, so I will give her half tonight.
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
So I do melt down my cheek. One thing you do see is that I take off some very nondescript, not costume jewelry, but pawn shop jewelry, and you see me, melted down essentially in the blood. It dissolves it, and feeds it to her.
You've done that before, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah, you have seen that. So
Maybe walk around hungry.
and you see with that, her body does start to repair itself, just like what you guys would. But as you guys are doing, this is when he opens. So it's actually not the end. He opens the mouth and puts the part of the apical meristem in there, and he says, go ahead and let's start. And then he basically has like a little jaw clamper that he clamps around on her mouth. And this goes like a strap on the head and then tightens down basically, right? You guys begin the chanting. So at some point, you do see her eyes fly open. And she will start to move as much as she can. So she only gets 1 success because she is crippled. She's not crippled. It would have to heal over time, and then once she was out of it, so she only had 1 success. So it basically has you two equal. So now she's about to get out. Okay. So you can re-roll again, and she's continuing to use that blood to heal. But as a part of it, Ward, you see, and actually you see really good because you're right there. The plant starts growing into her. So you see it start to magically extend right before your eyes and go down her throat and go up into her skull and starts going everywhere systemically and growing as if the plant was growing roots from this part, even though that's technically impossible, but it's doing it right in front of your eyes. Okay. But she's trying to fight and trying to get out almost, with the eyes kind of rolling in the back of her head. So go ahead and give me another strength check. She's going to get 2 dice this time.
Difficulty 6, you said?
Yes.
Are you
1
fucking
success.
kidding me? I got 0 on that. What the fuck?
Oh.
I didn't botch, but I got 1 success and 1 1. Out of 11 dice.
Okay, she breaks free. So, she does kind of break off and is able to wiggle out from you, to which Malleus basically, in a very stern and I need her back here. You're going to ruin the ritual for today, he says. I can't break it, he says really quickly, and then he goes back to his chanting. All right, so that is 1
11 dice.
negative on it. She only has 2 dice. She's gonna have another 2 dice
That's 10. You could re-roll 1 there.
because she only had lethal damage. All right, so she is. Her body's just continually
You
healing.
could, if you want to spend the blood on the potent, which might not be necessarily a bad thing. I don't know how much potent you have.
I got 4.
That would be 4
All right.
guaranteed successes.
1 success again. She just happened to wiggle out, man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then and roll another one. Just take one of the 2s and roll that one too.
Good. I was gonna say his
Okay.
regular form might be better than his horse form.
No shit.
Thank you this time. Jesus.
Okay,
God.
this time you just get her, slide her right back in, and you have enough successes where you can replace the stone, and you're just holding her. You know at this point, like, she's trying to, like, focus on you, and her eyes are wide, and she's basically, like, choking, and getting, like, her body's getting bored into by this plant in a magical manner. Yeah, you guys continue on for a spell, and no successes. She is kind of struggling, but it looks like the damage that's being done, like there's actually damage being done to her anyway. Eventually, it does overcome her healing, and then she falls back into torpor.
But not staked.
But not staked. So at the end, you do provide, you guys get the end of this 2 hours of kind of just like watching her and making sure, and occasionally she moves, more out of just muscle, spasms. But at the end, you do provide that blood point from a bat, which goes in, and as soon as the blood, and it's not very much because it's just a small bat, right? But it goes along, runs down the apical meristem and in along the roots and into the body, and it's like absorbed super quick. And then you hear a cracking sound and like a stretching sound, and you see her, and you could feel her back is arching off the stone a little bit as she grows to half-sized wings. She starts growing wings, and you see the stone too. It almost looks like it's like for lack of a better term, almost looks like it's made of sand. Like it starts to kind of like crumble a little and like absorb into the skin and like meld to the point where like there's like a transition between the stone and like half stone, half skin, and then her skin, and it's like the whole thing's like spreading out along, the whole stone's like spreading out into her skin, is how it looks. So, but at the end of the 2 hours, she looks pretty fucked up. One more strength check because she does get that 1 blood point. And she is mostly healed now. So she gets full strength.
No
but...
fucking way. Oh, well, no, there's one.
Skulls are 10s, by the way. On those dice.
Take that one. But 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Oh, and 5.
Okay. She had 3. So I was like, oh no. Right at the end, that would fail, and that would have they lose all of the ritual for that day. You guys succeed, but barely. Malaya seems really like frazzled, but he says, what, if it ends well. Thank you for your help. We will need your help tomorrow. So I suggest you hunt, refresh, and then we'll be at it tomorrow, Ward, at the same time. All right, why don't you guys get some sleep?
Suggest we go get a nap and tomorrow. Stock up on blood before we.
Oh, I'm gonna stock. Do we have any time now? Do we have an hour?
No. So, because it was about 3 a.m. and then about half hour of getting ready, an hour. So 3, another 2 hours, 5. It's getting really close to sunup. You got maybe an hour.
Real quick,
But it's
I know
tight.
that Baltimore is like the spot area and stuff. Are
Yeah.
there places outside of Washington D.C. that are more Camarilla? Than
On the Virginia side,
on the Virginia.
the whole Virginia side of the yes.
Try to find a new house.
Seeing what's on the actual market.
Yes, actually.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you,
Oh, I found the first
that
one.
Beach Mills Road area, those are 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, just stay right next
I
to.
can't afford that. I have 4, not 5.
Ah.
4 I can afford.
I'll take like 3 of them. I'll buy out the whole
But
lot.
this is also before I sell this house, so I could probably only afford up to about 3, maybe 4 million. You have to be 5 to have multiple homes. So I'm figuring that's a just.
You can
just
become really
has to
good
be-
friends with Kate. He'll buy it for you.
Yeah.
He's got 5.
Yeah, I'm already friends with followers of Stat. I don't need an Asimite.
You have very eclectic group of friends.
Yeah.
They're also
Eclectic
incredibly
is the
dangerous. It's like, yeah, I own a tiger and a Burmese python that's 20 feet long.
Yeah, we're gonna have a gargoyle and undead werewolf buddy. So
Yeah, you guys are gonna have quite the entourage.
Well, we're getting abomination. I mean, it's great.
All right, so we're gonna use that time unless anybody wants to do anything. Like if you want to go see the property, you can. Basically, they give you the keys. You have the title. They say keep that safe. You have the licenses for firearms sale and ammunition sale. You have all the approvals in place for DC and Virginia. Not on the Maryland side because Maryland's more strict. As a general rule. Well, I don't know if they're more strict than DC, but they're known for being pretty strict.
Do you need permission? I mean, you need permission to make child. Do you need permission to rule people? Like,
Yes.
You need permission specifically from the prince.
Yeah. Or your Primogen can give you permission. You don't really have a relationship with your Primogen. Have you met your Primogen yet? I don't think you have. Yeah. But that they can do it, but then it's under the clan, so it's in service of the clan, and they're kind of attached to you, but they're like beholden to the clan and at the clan's discretion. Versus if you have one that you get a permission from the prince, that's yours, separate from the clan. If that makes sense. It's more in title only, really, for role playing aspects. But I mean, the clan could be like, the Primogen or any ranking member could be like, hey. We need your ghoul. He may get destroyed, but he's in service of us. Versus the other one that's actually yours, they're not going to touch that. Yeah. Okay, so anybody want to do anything else for tonight?
No, I'm packing up a few things that I don't want to leave behind, and
All cleaning service.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes.
What happened to this?
Before.
So yeah, let's go take a peek at the warehouse.
Okay. We'll work it off online and tell you where it is and what it is. Did you spend 1 or 2 points in domain?
1 says a small building. 2 says
The warehouse.
A warehouse.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking because you said warehouse.
domain.
1 domain. So it's like a small building. It has like a little workshop in the back, and then it has like a small. It would be like one of those really small sales places and more for storage and in a workshop is what it would have. So it's pretty small. But again, location, and it is fairly close to another address that they give you for Megadon. So it's not the address that you've seen. Well, I don't know if you've seen that actually, the address before. There is an address that is in downtown DC that looks like it's more of a corporate office, but that is an address that would be it's under supplier for the special illicit materials. Anyway. And I'll send all that to you. I have everything on that. So it's apparently there's more than one Pentex/Megadon storefront or building.
Not knowing for sure what we're going to do tomorrow night with the Brian Taylor situation, there is one task that Ward wanted to undertake, and we haven't had a chance to talk about the rules set on it, but it's related to computers.
Okay.
A while back, Jessica set him up with a computer rig for the purpose of preparing hacking devices and hacking programs.
Sure.
So
I remember that conversation, and I've been waiting.
Well, yeah, and one of the things we wanted to do with that was Jessica and Ward talked about possibly getting Brian Taylor. If we mesmerized him, all we'd have to do is hand him a flash drive, have him mesmerize him to take it into work, stick it in his computer, do the one thing you're not supposed to do, stick an external device into a computer and download some malware. So I was wondering if I need to roll a dice roll tonight to prep that object, just in case I need to have it handy.
Yes, you would. So it would be technology or computer, either one, and we'll say intelligence.
Okay. And I do have, if it helps, the Mage Companion has really good hacking rules if you need anything on it.
Yes, that'd be good. But
the general system.
You're not going to do. Are you doing that? You're not doing that tonight.
Just the the general process is if you're doing any cracking or reversing where you're designing a program essentially.
Well, you guys were going to get help from the Nosferatu to do this, if I recall correctly, as your favors.
Yes, but I figure it might be infinitely easier.
Not as my favorite. No, my favorite is something else.
That was what Cindy goes with, was to get with the hackers. But
Yes.
I did think that this might be a little bit easier to set her up for success, because who knows, she may even need help. And the general system was there's a role to write the program, and that role, however many successes, can make the role to actually do the hacking slightly easier, was the general idea. So,
Okay.
just to, in case it makes a difference.
It's like a cedar program or whatever, dude.
Right. Basically, all I want to do is write some basic malware, a little backdoor,
Yeah.
so that all he has to do is load it. It doesn't do anything. I don't want it to do anything other than create a backdoor, so that when we do want to hack it, it's much easier to get into the system externally.
Okay.
See if that makes sense.
It does.
The suggested one is an intelligence computer 8
Do it.
to create an effective code.
Sounds good.
And would hackers be a specialty?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my computer specialty.
Hackers would be a specialty in this case.
Okay. Never gotten that hacking at this time, so so difficulty 8. I only have 2 successes on that,
Well, it's still 2 successes.
so I'll make a note.
Yeah, please do.
2 successes, and I'll just put a little flash drive together, a little thumb drive on flash drive, and then I can send you the link to the passage. Perfect. That's all I wanted to do is just write that little program tonight, and then I'd have it handy in case shit goes down.
Yeah.
That way I wouldn't have to be like, oh, but there's one thing I wanted to do. All right.
Yep.
That's it for the night. Busy night.
Okay. Well, it's
Making
for everybody.
evaluations and all sorts of shit.
So yeah, it looks like I described for you get to your location, really nice spot, and fairly busy street, and it seems like it's a part of. It has its own security system that's built in, and like I said before, it has a decent workshop in the back. It doesn't have a bathroom associated with it. Do keep that in mind, but it does have storage. It has what appears to be a washroom. And you don't know what it was used for before, but it seems like maybe machinery work because it smells a lot like maybe welding, fumes and whatnot in there, that distinctive kind of burn metal smell. And then the front store option does have like glass counter, which are reinforced. And probably not even glass, probably plexiglass or something, really strong, but hyper buffed so that they're super clear. And they have all of the separate keys and everything else. And it also has a fairly large safe, which is open, and the directions and code are, so it's biometric, and it has all the things for setting it up.
Okay.
And that's what you have.
Awesome.
Yeah. And we'll say it has like a little apartment upstairs or something too. So
here's that wind outside.
oh yeah,
We got a storm coming
in.
So.
Oh good. Yay. Okay, Jessica, you're just on. Your character is going to be going. You do hear from M-Man. He says that basically. So Jess, talk to Madame Simile and you family. So we're going to drive on over. If you want to continue to do that, we'll drive you.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. I'm going to be searching for a house that's going to be suitable. With room for guests, because I'm not going to give that up. That being able to have people that are in need to stay.
All right, that's cool. Well, you've been nothing but kind to us, so we'd like to somehow return the favor if we can. But
Really appreciated. I mean, you were saying this is worth going to the resources, but I really appreciated having you guys there. I really do. I think a big house rattling around by myself would have been really boring.
I hear that.
I sort of like your music. I mean, you're no MC Hammer, but you're decent.
Well, ain't nobody like MC Hammer. That's what we grow up on, man. Shit. And with that, give me a perception and alertness roll. Difficulty will be 8.
I watched it. Great. I just knew
Hey, you're pretty, like a bug flies in your eye or something. I don't know. Yeah. What the fuck? Why? And it's like roller skating on and shit. No, you just basically kind of making sure everybody's getting together, and then they're all going to funnel into the car in the multiple cars because they have their own, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm
they've called
taking
Uber.
mine.
Yeah.
So somebody wants to ride with me, that'd be great.
So and you all skedaddle. All right. So without any other are you going to do anything, Vincent?
No, I'm just going to wait for the next night so I can go hunt and see what kind of blood I can replenish.
Okay, so we're going to start the next night, with Cedar. Please give me a humanity roll, Cedar. If you're still there. He may have dropped off. Cedar, are you there? That's all right, he's probably off. We've had him sitting there for a while, unfortunately. Jessica, then. So everybody give me humanity rolls. We'll just see you when you wake up. I mean, it's not the end of the world or anything. Nobody's going to...
Oh, no.
That was me.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on, you can set it down.
Is it just one die per dot?
Yep.
Boy, I don't even know I thought you even slept. I mean, that's why didn't I do that? Why?
Whoa. Yeah, you just
I'm
wake.
like,
You're like right up, like a freaking Bambi. You just like come up, like, oh,
she's
look at
actually
this.
excited to move.
This is
I
great.
guess.
What's 6 left here? 6?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I got 2, 3, 4.
Whoa. Yeah, you guys are early risers.
Yeah.
And I take it we're already there.
You're in Cymbeline.
Okay.
And Cymbeline does come out to greet you personally. And so I guess we can role play that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys pull up, and sure enough, you guys pile out with a bunch of luggage, whatever you could grab. You see Madame Cymbeline sitting there, and she has another attendant, one of the ladies you met at the party, who comes over and kind of helps you guys with some of your luggage. And even Madame Cymbeline herself comes in and kind of helps, kind of trying to grab some of the things, and then shakes the hands of even the higher generation people and introduces herself. And says that they have, their free reign to stay as long as they need, but that we'll have to talk about long-term lodging for them. She tells them directly to their face.
Well, yeah, because my place is only going to be temporary anyway. We just
Right.
don't know how temporary.
Yeah. And then she gets to you, and she comes over and kind of in a, she like makes almost an exaggerated sigh and kind of tilts her head and puts her hands out. And she just shakes her head, and she comes up and gives you a little gentle hug.
I really appreciate you taking us in like this, especially on such short notice.
Well, supernatural, unwanted house guests can occur from time to time.
Yes.
I, of all people, understand this. But I'm just happy that we, as Toreador, can try and help start repaying the debt. So you may, of course, use my grounds as long as you need.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to be...
Help yourself. And she'll see you. She'll have one of her ghouls see you to your specific room, and you have your own. And like I described before, it's very much like a it looks like a regular bed, but with the press of the button,
right.
The top just slides over, and it's more of like a coffin that you sleep under
Pretty much what I
in the
had.
bed. It is,
Really?
yeah. And it's about the same luxury level. So it's all padded and really nice. But it's like super blinded curtains and everything too, to the point where she says, like, in these rooms, we have it set up so that if you do need to get up or whatever, you can. There will be no threat of the sun here. So with that, she says, if you have any problems, she hands you her card, which has her cell phone number on it. You can give her a call direct. But the second number on that is actually the housekeeping, and if you need anything, just let us know. All right. Close that.
Well, apparently we have a very good luxury sleep because I woke up very quickly.
You did. So now, fast forward. Cedar, are you back yet? Nope. Okay. So I guess we'll just go around the table because you guys all wake up eventually. Nobody botched, right?
What was I rolling?
Humanity. So wake
Oh,
up.
to wake up? Yeah, no, I got 5.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
Actually, there we go. 1.
1. So it does take Ward a while, but he doesn't botch, so he's not gonna like uber sleep in and or he didn't fail and then he really
I
sleeps.
think his ritual's fucked for the night.
Yeah, pretty much. Great. He sleeps the entire day. That's how you. But you get to like Humanity 1, and that's how they sleep for like years. You know what I mean?
I know.
They just choose to sleep. So we'll just start with you. So you wake up. And did you choose to sleep in your?
Yeah, I'm guessing since I was there and then we haven't communicated.
You would have had to have slept in the warehouse part.
Okay.
Because that's the part that doesn't really have any windows. It has like looks like a small delivery truck port, sliding door. You know, one of the heavy steel ones.
Yeah.
And then it just has like a concrete slab that you work on. Lots of outlets along the side. And like heavy duty outlets, as well as looks like a ventilation system that's still installed, but doesn't have like a table underneath it or anything. It just has like the guts of it and the materials that you need for ventilation kind of tucked up in one of the corners.
Yeah.
But it's all completely dark, so it's not fairly comfortable, but you still get some sleep and then awaken to the sunset.
Okay. So I guess my first order of business is I'm just tinkering around in my new shop here and probably send a group chat just to see where everybody's at, what's going on, what you guys up to, what's the plan of the day.
You get a text back from Vincent.
Can someone write on there just to let Cedar speak up when he comes back? Has anyone texted him? Can you just text him direct?
I could.
Yeah, just text him direct if you could too. What did you text?
Oh,
Or you don't want to have him read it? Okay.
no, he can. I sent him a text. I'm dying. Alright. So text.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just say that we'll have a conversation.
Okay, I found my place.
Found it?
Oh yeah, it's a B&B
Good.
with
10%.
a separate farmhouse
Oh,
and a 1-acre vineyard.
nice.
You can
Not on the Maryland side though?
No.
Okay.
It is Virginia.
Nice Virginia. Okay.
Beautiful. Plus, nice and private. Not a lot of neighbors right there.
Yeah. Well, it'd be good for it'd be good for the game girl for sure.
Yes, got a lot of natural land.
Okay. Well, then you spend your time. You talk to
That's
your
literally
usual
what she's
realtor,
doing.
we'll say.
Yeah.
And your
That's
realtor
literally
will,
what she's doing.
we'll get you hooked up.
And then just
She says
have
10% over asking price in cash, and it's yours. She's already talked to the owners. They can take it right off the market. They're good if you are willing to do that.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
it is so.
She's definitely not buying the furniture with it.
You also get a text first thing from a unnamed number. And it says arriving
Oh, Dr. Nerf.
at 1100. See you there.
And I text back. I will see you there.
Okay.
That's at the hotel. Dr. Nerf, she's actually meeting me at the hotel, right? Where she's gonna, or she's gonna
She
meet
is.
me at the-
She's going to be at the airport.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Okay.
at Dulles.
That's right. That's right. Because I'm
She's flying in from Brazil.
Yes. Yes, actually, I'm going to hire a limo service because I don't want, if there's anyone tailing her from her government, I don't want them to necessarily see my vehicle right away.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. Yep, they're willing to do it. I mean, they have availability and stuff. It's DC, so you got your pick actually. Is there anything else you'd like to do prior to that meeting, or send texts, or bring anybody?
No,
Or?
it's basically Dad just arranging for cleaning/moving service to just gather up all the stuff and whatever is left in the house, trash it.
Okay. Are you just doing any old cleaning service?
Huh?
So you're just gonna do a cleaning service from just look on
Probably
Any-
see if there's anyone through my contacts that knows of a more discreet
roll
service.
your contacts then.
Oh.
The number of dice. Difficulty will be 8.
9 out of 10. Hey, Sabrina.
Oh
can I
my
have
goodness. So Sabrina just so happens to know, she's like, you know, I actually did my own raid. You'll be happy for me, Jessica. I raided into Maryland and we wiped out a whole property. And the people that helped me with cleaning that service, I highly recommend them. They're independent, they're discreet, and they provide night services for discreet cleaning
Excellent.
with an emphasis on silent workings. I'm pretty sure one has quietus, but I don't know. I don't think they're Assamites.
Oh, I don't really care. Can't really afford to be choosy right now, can I?
What happened?
The dogs found us.
Are you okay?
Yes, I had a panic.
Do you need backup?
No, not at all. Actually, we're fine. They couldn't.
Do you need a place to stay?
I'm fine. We're just in a staying with a friend for right now, and buying a new place.
Well, keep me in mind if you need a place. You just stay with me.
She's
Thanks.
talking to Sabrina, right?
Yes.
I appreciate
Sabrina
that.
knows of my cleaning service, right?
She's talking about a different cleaning service.
Oh, okay. Oh. I too have a cleaning service.
I would not know this.
Yeah.
This is
Fair.
not anything I would have had to discuss with you.
But do they clean after 3 werewolves that tear a place up?
You know, I've been looking into an arcane ritual that turns blood into water to clean up crime scenes.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a real low level because it doesn't do it inside a person. It's external. I'm just like,
Specifically for cleanup like this.
absolutely.
Yeah. How many gory scenes do we create?
Yeah, I was thinking about like, man, I need
Shit.
to pick it up preemptively before it becomes an issue.
Okay. So yeah, she does hook you up with the number, and
God, how cool would that be if an Assamite had that ability? Fuck.
oh my god, nothing happened. Prove it.
Right.
There's
You
no
melt it
blood.
There's a big ball of mush. No, there's not.
Yeah, no, that's not blood though. It's just water and mixed with some dust. All right. So, anything else that you're going to be doing, Jessica?
No, she's just going to contact her usual people regarding getting panic rooms installed and that kind of thing for that place. It's all just nuts and bolts stuff that doesn't need to be.
It'll take a while though.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
things
that's
all take
fine.
a while. So,
Oh, yes.
all right, and then Steve, what is Steve doing
Steve,
other than shooting texts?
shooting texts, having a conversation. I still haven't heard back from
He's
I
probably
haven't
asleep.
heard back from these other two about the plans tonight. I know they wanted to go do a thing, but I guess I'm just gonna keep tinkering around in the shop and getting all this kind of squared away.
Okay. I really wish Cedar was here. 'Cause this is.
Yeah.
He's probably asleep though. Yeah. No one's there to keep him awake. Okay. Ward, is there anything in particular? It takes you a while to wake up though.
A little bit, yeah.
You're a little groggy and whatnot. And after last night, you did have a dream about that though. And it went through and played out in your mind, but from a different direction. From a different vantage point as you're kind of looking, and it's almost like you went into like the molecular level of her watching like the stone and the plant and the bat all mix in with her own blood that has the vicissitude properties.
I should try and teach her blood.
Oh, God.
She wasn't there for that though, but still, she can tell by herself because I could take I'm her side. We could probably figure some weird shit out. Anyway, I'll be Ward the Hive Mind. Sorry, I took that off on a tangent. I wake up. I'm gonna probably track down Vincent and see what we're up to.
He's in the medical ward. For the most part, he does have to heal. If he wants to heal, he has to spend most of the night healing.
I figured we probably.
So he's in the infirmary. Yeah.
So how are we?
Well, I'm gonna get the 2 back at least for doing the horde form the night before. Then I should get 2 back again this night for doing horde form. So that's 4, but that's gonna put me at 1, 2. That's gonna put me 9 down. I'd like to go hunt before the ritual starts, so I can get 3 back, perhaps.
Okay.
or try to, depending on how good my hunt is, of course. But
Yeah. Well, you just have to do it right around the chantry.
right.
I mean, I could probably bring someone back, but it'd probably be better to be fatal then at that point. So we better be prepared to commit murder. I don't know how you feel about that.
So long as it's not a kid, I'm fine. A junkie would be better. So who cares, right?
Man, this coteries, the humanity's going down the shitter. I'll tell you.
I mean, you'll have to make a character. You'll still have to make a humanity roll, which is how I use
We're like the fucked up 18.
We really are.
We're like the boys
Damn.
version of the
I could bring up my. I could
You know, we
bring up my
like the
goal.
Camarilla, but
I could bring
we're
up my
kind of
goal
more
and see-
Sabat, really, when you think about it. So,
We're borderline. We're in the
we're gonna
gray.
go a different. We're gonna walk
Great
a different
team.
path.
Thing is I could bring up my goal, and she's a nice lady. She's a nice young lady. Probably good out to the bar. Pretty attractive. You know, and probably wouldn't have any trouble picking up a sleazy guy at a bar. And she may know, maybe a little stronger than she looks. So she won't be in any danger, I don't think. And be able to bring him back here and, just be prepared to, dispose of a body is all I'm saying.
Whatever works.
I'm just thinking because you're not in any shape to be getting out there. You need to spend your time healing. So
There's that.
Dude.
Basically, if you go hunting and do the ritual, you're not gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to recover that aggravated.
Yeah.
So
But here's the
I'm
thing.
allowing you to do the ritual, and that's about all you can do today. If that's what you're.
Sure.
If you want to heal.
Morality.
Well, I want to give one. So the way it ran me in healing is if you do it once per night, it's 5 ag, or 5 blood. But if you do it more than that, you have to do 5 blood and a willpower.
Yeah.
I don't want an expenditure anymore because I only have 4 left.
I know. That's why I'm assuming you're just doing one a night.
So I would just do one a night.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So whatever you can get me.
Unless
if
you
I
told
have
me
to
otherwise.
if I have to kill the guy or a woman, who knows?
All right.
I'm down with that.
So you're gonna engage with your ghoul to do the fishing expedition.
As long as you understand out of character that it will still entail, we may not care and we may be able to justify it, but it is still murder, so we'll still have to roll our humanities. And I think I could probably justify maybe not having to roll mine because I'm not the one doing any murder. We'll see. Let me think about it for just a second. I was going to look at to see where my
You are kind of facilitating it, though. I would say you would.
I could probably dance around that.
I don't think so.
If he doesn't know that I'm going to
I'm not in this case.
Way.
I'm not. No. Yeah, you're like you are setting someone up to die. That is. You can't get around that one, man.
I was looking at the
These
hierarchy.
conversations are always so
I
great.
didn't
It's
know
just
you were
like,
gonna kill
yeah, you fucking did.
You
Come on,
fucking did.
come on.
So yeah, if I lose one more humanity, then I won't have to roll any more for murders because I'll be totally cool with it. So there's that.
Oh my goodness,
That's
3 humanity.
I do kind of want to bring
Woof.
it back. I'll be honest. I would like to bring
Ward
it
was
like a 6
all
or a 7.
intending to come back, but he made a decision to off a Sabat henchman, a lackey, and it was still murder, and he didn't feel very bad about it, so he went down in humanity.
He rolled really shitty too.
Dude,
Because he doesn't feel guilty about it.
you should have got a bonus at least.
But he still rolled shitty. Man, it doesn't
So-
matter.
We will have to roll.
Bunch that shit. Well, you lose 3 humanity, motherfucker.
And the thing is it's difficulty. I want to say it's difficulty 8 for a conscience roll, if I'm not mistaken,
Sounds about right.
or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I just remember that it was pretty tough.
Does anyone want any cookies?
Yeah.
I mean,
Duh.
The real question is, do you want there to be any cookies left?
right.
No.
That
Sugar.
is, yeah.
The diabetic always wants sugar.
Here, I better go ahead and upload this cookie situation then.
Yo, Rusty, I got some Twix. You want Twix? Yeah, you got it.
Let's switch to a path.
Are you on a path already because of stuff?
Officially, I'm still on the path of humanity, meaning I'm trying to stay human. I haven't decided that. Like, the paths are more like almost pseudo-religious philosophies of like.
They all seem pretty extreme.
They are. There's a few that I could see maybe fit in, but his character concept is more about the abstract.
Well, they seem like they would cause a problem. It's almost like you can't even exist in a coterie if you're on a path. It's like it starts to get really counter.
It's hard to exist with other people on the path of humanity. Certainly, yeah, because it's like, well, you guys might not like a lot of the things
Right.
there. Yeah.
Because you have compulsions.
Yeah, your hierarchy of sins is completely different. So, like, other things will require you to make rolls.
Yeah, it is difficulty 8. I found the roll on it.
Yeah.
Yep, difficulty 8 conscience roll, which for me is 2 dice.
Oh dear.
So I've decided not to keep the B&B part running,
Okay.
but I am going to. She probably will hire people to keep the vineyard running. It's only an acre, and that's a good money maker.
Yeah. Okay.
It's already zoned for the business, so.
Yeah.
But that way, she has a separate farmhouse and a barn that she can use for helping other clans or whatever have you. Be able to put in not only a paddock room, but hell, maybe even a bunker. Once she sells the other house, she could probably afford to put in a bunker. Because apparently we're going to need it.
Alright, so every day you wake up, is that a blood thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 1 blood down
Okay.
upon wake up.
I need 8 blood to top off if I were going to top off, so I'm going to need to go hunting while this is happening. But it's up to you, Vincent. But we could use you at the ritual, and we'll bring. Yeah, I can make the call to have we'll bring someone
Gonna have
by.
to, otherwise I'm not turning into horror form. Unless we want to deal with a fucked up guy.
Unless they want to pay up front. Can I get my blood up front? Okay, well, and you sure that as long as if I'm not present on the scene, like I'm just like, okay, I'll do it. I have nothing to do with it. I can't get out of that one. Can't weasel my way out of like.
I will make the difficulty a 6.
Okay, I'm down for that. I'll take the chance. I still suck at conscience, so I'm about to lose to humanity.
You only have 2 humanity? I thought you rolled your full humanity dice.
No, it's you should make a conscience roll, difficulty 8.
Oh, conscious roll.
Yeah.
That's
To
right.
see if you lose humanity. Oh God! Oh, all right, man. I feel bad about this,
But not that
Not
bad.
really.
but that's what I have to do with.
Not really.
I mean,
So you're going to call your ghoul?
I call her up, and I'm gonna give her the specific
Oh,
instructions to.
Ryan, it's so nice to talk to you. I was wondering where you'd been.
I assume that we've kind of kept. I mean, I haven't even gotten emails on some of the shit that I did email back. Yeah, give me a tiny break on that. I kept in contact with you by email.
Okay.
We just had other things going on, and I was like, I'm not going to bombard you with tons of shit. I figure I gave her loose, kind of. I got to keep in touch to keep her feeding her blood and stuff. But I haven't really put a
That's
ton
what
of
she
time-
wants.
Right. I haven't done a ton of time into extensive training.
Yeah.
But I have one of her first tasks. So, second task, because while I was running the game, she obviously did something for me. So, some contact, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And I just hit up and said, look, I have a task for you.
But to a ghoul that's craving your blood,
Yeah.
a couple days is a long time.
Yeah. Which we'll have to make a point to start maintaining that more,
Right.
Even if it's just loosely by email, just saying.
I'm as bad as anyone, but yes. But I still, that's why she would be like, oh, I love that I'm hearing from you. Can I get my fix?
And I will definitely tell you.
Exactly.
Yes, and we might have the opportunity to work on some of your skills. Do a little training with her when she comes.
Okay.
But I have a task for you first. It's an important one, discreet.
Okay.
This evening, I need you to go to a bar.
Okay.
Preferably something divey, something out of your normal way. Probably a good, 30 minutes drive or more out of your normal, sort of area that
Okay.
you live in. And find yourself the sleaziest possible man you can. Go ahead and engage him in conversation. Make sure no kids, no wife. Can't be having any of that.
Okay.
Or if he does have kids and a wife, make sure that it seems like they'd be better off without him. And he's going to spend some time away from them is all. And pick him up. Bring him to this address, and I'll text you the address. Tell him it's your house, basically, and I'm not going to get into too much more. Basically, I'm going to tell her to pick a guy up, find the sleaziest guy she can, and bring him to the chantry, the empty sign, and we'll meet her there.
Okay. Is there any age or really race? Anything matter?
I think probably just for safety's sake, the older and grosser, the better.
I'm not gonna have to make out with him or anything, am I?
I prefer, if you draw your boundaries wherever, whatever you have to do.
But I should be leading him on.
Lead him on, exactly.
Okay. I got you.
You have my strength. You don't need to let him touch you. So if things get out of control, do what you have to do.
Okay. I will text you when we're on our way. I know just the place, she says. High or low in your favor?
This feels like a low kind of thing.
All right. Fuck, it takes her an hour. She's texting you and letting her know. She has someone.
I just
and I quote, he nasty.
Perfect.
But willing. And excited.
Maybe too excited.
I ain't doing that. Just so we're clear.
My text back there said, I wouldn't dream of it.
Good. But once straight up in caps, probably right next to him. So yeah, it takes her about an hour goes by.
Seriously, breathe that.
So that's like 10, maybe 9:30, and then she gets out, looks around. They are walking around, and it's visible to them. So are you meeting?
Vincent and I will go out there and kind of hang out.
Okay.
In the
So you're gonna help? Yeah,
place.
help them out.
Of course. Yeah, we'll go out and discreetly hang out.
So, because she did the hunting for you, there's no role other than you just describing how this is going to work. Because you do see older, seems like a white guy, looks completely sleazy, everything you'd expect from just some guy that's super everything's super perfumed up or cologne and but he has oversized teeth and he's talking all kinds of vulgar stuff openly with her and trying to get everything going on, but he looks like total grease bag.
Vincent Ward will tell you it's done, and that he'll be arriving shortly. We should probably meet him down there. So he'll head down to the sort of the edge of the property, and we'll be kind of hanging out discreetly, off to the side, maybe in the shrubs or something. I mean, it's just a sign as far as they know. So
it is in a
the
plaque.
car will pull up, and basically when they do roll up, Ward's going to talk to you about this. When they do roll up, I assume we're just going to go do the knock, knock, knock. I mean, hey, look, let's throw on our DCPD jackets. Let's do the old knock, knock, knock. Get them out of the car. Sir, we've been drinking tonight. Do the whole routine, and drag them away. You go ahead and.
That's a fucking just.
I mean, look, my ghoul's seen a few things, and she's no stranger. I mean, you were there when we made her, what she is. But I think I'd like to let her choose to be a part of that part of our life. Let her choose whether violence is the path she wants to be a part of, rather than force on her. So we can just take them off around the corner and handle it, and I'll talk to her while you top off.
Yeah.
And, sure. But we'll just make it nice and smooth. I mean, he's some sleaze bag from a bar. I'm sure we roll up with our jackets on. Do the old knock, knock, knock. Come on, sir. And
for her part, she's just parked over there, and you see her kind of impatiently tapping her hand on the steering wheel. And for his part, he's like leaned into her and has his arm like around her shoulder.
I mean, hell, you know, she's a prostitute
and,
and we're making her best.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you? Motherfucker, your breath smell like shit.
Yeah. And sure enough, you knock on it, and he's like, "Hold on, baby. Hold on. He, hello, officer," he says. He's looking at it, and you smell BO coming from from in the car, like immediately. And it's like a mixture of BO and like, so he probably hasn't showered in a couple days, but he also has cologne to try and mask it. It's like a nasty mixture.
Ward will look at
and she's just looking at you, and she basically has like a tear in her eye because she's like just can't stand this whole thing.
Ward will look at her and say, with kind of a shit-eating grin.
"Yes, officer, I'm coming." And she opens the door and like pours out and like goes next to you.
Jenny. He's just making up a name.
He's
Jenny,
like,
"This is way out.
No, you can't get out of the car. You can't get out of the car. They're gonna beat you," he says. He's looking around. He looks like he's like wide-eyed, and he starts opening the door.
Okay. Sir, can I ask you to step out of the car? It looks like you're more than willing. Jenny, this is a little bit further from your normal beat here. And looks like you got quite the client here. You know, why don't you introduce us to your friend?
What?
Vincent, why don't you take him around?
I don't know anything about that, man.
No?
I don't know anything. No.
Why don't you come with me, sir?
I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not coming with you.
Yes, you are.
What are you doing? He's like starts resisting you. You can't do this. You can't do this. I have rights, he says.
You do. You have a right to remain silent.
I'm under arrest, he says.
You're being detained. You're with a known prostitute.
I don't know this bitch, he says.
Your arm was all over
her. We didn't do anything. There was no exchange of money. Tell him. Nah, that motherfucker paid me, she says. And she looks up. Can we go around the corner now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
20
wanna...
bucks for the old rub and tug, huh? All right. Vincent, you go talk to him.
What?
Me and Jenny
She's lying. She's lying.
Hey, and since she's all paid up, I'm gonna go make good on this tab. And sorry, buddy, you're out.
Give me a perception and awareness roll, both of you. One. You both get the distinct feeling you're being watched, and it's from the direction of the castle that is currently cloaked. You're thinking Vi and Zai might be looking at you, but you can't see them or otherwise interact with them. Or it could be something else. One success? You don't really know. Okay, so you pull her around the corner, and what do you do? He's being pretty vocal, but there's no there's some townhomes and stuff up there. All the lights are still off, and he's not being like loud yelling yet. He's like, "I didn't know. Just let me go, man. How much could it cost to get someone like me off, man? I know people," he says.
Who do you know?
It's like, the attorney's office, attorney general's office. I know the attorney general office, he says.
You sure?
Give me an empathy and a manipulation roll.
1. God damn.
He's
John.
he's kind of looking at it, and he's just like, I mean, yeah, I definitely, yeah, I know. I do. I did.
Listen, I just have a couple of tests for you to do, and you'll be set free. Come around here. I'm trying to figure out what my first dot of presence, if I can just...
What the roll is?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. It's I don't know. It's difficulty 7, and it's I think charisma and empathy roll, maybe.
Looks like
Charisma performance.
Yeah. Performance. There you go.
Okay, so difficulty 7.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. He is very awed by your. He's like, "Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Oh, come on."
Just come over here. We'll have a couple of field sobriety tests for you. I'll let you go.
All right. All right. I haven't been drinking. I appreciate it though.
That's not what it smells like. Plus, we have Jenny here. Let's talk this out. Come over here.
All right. He goes. He follows you.
You know why I called her Jenny too? Because I was like, he's just making up a name, right?
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm thinking Jenny. Who can I turn to? He's got her number, man.
Or Forrest Gump. She was a whore.
Oh, that's
She
you.
was 6 foot of a whore.
What about Forrest Gump?
All right.
Jenny, don't you love me?
He's yours, Forrest. All right. So.
So once I get him out of street view,
Yeah. Into the shadows a little
in the
bit.
shadows a little bit,
You're gonna devour him.
I haven't gone to devour it.
Okay. You're devouring him to a husk.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. So
Okay. Well, it's gonna be a difficulty 8 test on your conscious.
Let's spend willpower. I
Okay.
have 4 left, so I now have 3.
3.
Do you mind saving me 1 or 2 points? Do you have how much?
Say this now. I'm sorry, second.
No. Well, I was more of an out of character. Like I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to how far down you are
Probably not.
when we
No,
were
not at
making
this
our
point.
arrangement.
At this point, yeah.
Okay.
I gotta be honest.
You would have had to have talked about it beforehand.
I think we did.
Because
when we were
you went
making
around
arrangement.
the. Oh, I see.
But I didn't think I asked actually out of character how much you're actually down to. But I can make do. That's fine. I'll be in better shape than you are right now.
You can go hunting. I mean, you can still hunt. You guys got.
I mean, she had like an hour, right?
Yeah.
While she was waiting around, so
Yeah.
I can make my hunt roll.
You're a
while-
legit hunt, separate from this.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Can I ask him this?
No, you can't get
No,
out and
yours-
do anything
that's-
unless
yeah.
you want to jeopardize the. The
No,
whole point of this is to
no.
spend minimal time
Don't
away from healing.
That is absolutely correct. So willpower.
Okay. Yep, you're good to get one person then.
Okay, I'll just do my standard. I'm not gonna hurt him, so that'll just keep me out of the danger zone for the ritual
Box
tonight.
Well, I spent the willpower, so I got the 1 success. So
Yeah.
it's not a box, but I got 2 1s.
Okay,
So I was fucking humanity.
you do.
So another 6.
I thought the willpower you couldn't reduce the willpower one though.
You can't, but you can still overrule it by
Fifth ones.
with 1s.
That would be reduced.
You can look it up, but I believe you can still botch and overrule that.
You can't botch because it's always an automatic success.
Right. So it's but it's still the 1s overrule that, so it's a 0.
I never understood that why it wouldn't be overruled. I know what you're talking about.
Because it's
John.
expensive, which I thought was the point of spending it. It was to guarantee the bare minimum to guarantee a basic success, no matter how many 1s you rolled. You would still get the 1, which is still a shitty success as far as that goes.
Well, I mean, if you're right, awesome. Because
Yeah. I mean, it is expensive, so I'll allow it. So we'll say that you didn't because you spent the 1 willpower.
But success is guaranteed and may not be canceled.
There you go.
That was the point. Is you're guaranteed that 1. So it's like I'm gonna take a shot and I'm guaranteed to hit this shot. I can't miss, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be a resounding success because you could roll a ton of 1s and okay, I squeaked it by.
Yeah.
Which could still not be very good for us.
So in this case, that's what happened though. So you did not lose 1.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you drain him dry, and you literally have skin and bones in front of you with clothes and stinky disposition.
So is there a dumpster nearby?
You have to figure that one out. Incinerator, pigs. Well, the pigs wouldn't like it because
And
it's like human jerky.
I didn't
That's
realize
correct.
what I would actually probably be doing after the initial
It's like a Slim Jim.
sale of the house. Doing all
His
that
name could have been
stuff,
Jim.
house stuff wouldn't have taken very long. So actually, what she's
No,
gonna-
because you have your.
she's gonna go back to the area with Osiris and start looking for the other cat.
Okay.
So
Give me a survival and wits roll.
One success.
You actually find her.
Okay,
All it
I've
takes
got
is the
fresh
one.
seafood. I give
Okay.
it to them both. Get them in the car, and
Give me animal. Do you have animal kin?
I do.
give me animal kin and manipulation or charisma.
And I am also using
At your discretion.
animalism,
Okay.
and
That lowers the difficulty by
I am-
2, so difficulty 4.
I am speaking to them, saying it's going to be okay. We're going to get somewhere safe. That won't happen again. 3 successes.
A complete success.
Yes, I
You
am
do
now.
coax her over. Does love your or Osiris is it?
Just because some weird
Osiris, it was the one I had.
Yeah.
It's the other one.
Oh.
Bastard.
I have the names. Hold on here. Yeah, Bastet.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
You saying the stat?
No, Bastet.
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 That was Egyptian.
Yeah. Bast. So yeah, it comes right over.
Good. I'm getting in the car, getting somewhere.
Yeah.
So that they're going to be
Follows just massive coon cat. You think probably has murdered a couple dogs.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
know. I'm not going to even look.
Don't care. She does have blood all over the front of her though, in like hunting manner. Okay. So you guys do your thing. Cedar, I assume you're not back yet.
He's not answered me, so.
Yeah,
I
he's
assume he fell
fallen asleep. Okay. Then we'll say Jessica. 11 o'clock rolls in, and on a jet flies.
Yes. Go
Miss
there
Nur.
with a limo to
Yeah.
Meet Dr. And I have a little sign that says Dr.
Yeah. So you do see a series of people coming off. Most of them, coming in. They come in plugs from the international flights, and in this particular case, you do see one that comes from Brazil. Lots of people that are brightly colored dresses, and other ones that are fully suited up. That walk by you, various races, and then you do see a very small, very, very small of stature lady. She does look Chinese, but it's like an off Chinese. It's a little different. You're not sure if it's like maybe half white, half Chinese or something. You're not sure. But she looks over and her eyes look at your sign, and she nods and walks over. She's dressed very nicely in a full like business suit. And she comes over. I mean, no tie, obviously, and everything. So pantsuit and everything. She comes over and does a slight bow with her head.
I bow the same.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
You too, Dr. Nur.
Yes. Very excited that we could utilize your resources to be able to showcase our culture. But I think this would not be the best place. As she's kind of looking around. Do you have another place that we could be more open with our discussions?
Yes, I do, in fact.
Excellent.
And so we'll get your luggage and...
I don't have any luggage.
excellent.
I will purchase things while we're here.
Wise. Best to travel light. And I lead her out to the limousine, and we get inside, and I will have already arranged with Dr. Chase that we will be arriving, after hours.
He'll have it all set up, he says.
Dr.
Do you need any secretarial assistance or any personnel support? He asks.
I asked Dr. Nur, do you think we'll be needing any talking to Dr. Chase at the gallery?
Maybe just him. And then we could discuss things from that.
Yes. Just you, thank you.
She says. And with that, I mean, she's like unearthly graceful. Yeah, unearthly graceful in her movements. Everything is a flow with her, very and almost exaggeratingly so. And she's also, despite being relatively short, very short, and we're talking 5 foot, nothing. Shorter than, probably shorter. She is, she's just goes with purpose and has a lot, you could tell she has a lot of power in the way she holds, despite being so small of stature. Yeah, she's probably way smaller.
Who's like 5'1".
No, I know. She's smaller than you. That's what I'm saying. It's she's I'm even thinking 4, she's probably 4'10".
Okay.
Yeah.
First, and then we'll have the limo drop us off. I have my vehicle there, but we'll have the limo drop us off at the gallery.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a fairly, she just talks about her flights, and she's talking about, Brazil seemed pretty nice, and she enjoyed her time in the sun, and then she got on the plane and made her way here, and everything was pretty uneventful. So she appreciates you being able to take in their cultural artifacts in this time of relative unrest and threat.
We are very honored to have been chosen.
So I assume that you are not blind to some of the risks associated with what's happening, yes?
I am not. I have been keeping up on the current events.
Well, basically, we need to move these artifacts and keep them in a relatively safe spot. So the Chajim mummies are a cultural artifact, and we want to make sure that they're kept safe.
Yes.
And Xinjiang is just not a safe place, she says right now. So we need to
Oh, fuck.
make sure.
For real? How did that fall out of the fucking plane?
What?
I cannot. I kept it like this the whole time. How did that happen?
Yeah. Asshole.
You rolled a 1.
Monster. I rolled a 1.
You could have
Failed your
eaten
dex
it if
check.
You wanted me to eat it, so
What can I say?
Dude, I can't even believe that. I was trying to get
Another
out of my face,
humanity
so I
point.
didn't eat it.
So you guys arrive at the Smithsonian and walk up the huge steps, and the doors are unlocked and only a few lights on inside, and to which you see your neatly fully suited up with glasses comes out and opens the door for you guys and motions you both in and does a slight bow, which she bows back,
And
but
I will
continues to move.
introduce them once we are inside.
Yes.
Dr. Robert Chase, and he is very trusted for any delicate conversations.
Good. I'm glad. Mr. Chase, it's a pleasure to meet you finally. He says, Dr. Nur, of course, it's a very big pleasure. And it's Rayman Nur? Yes, that is my name. Well, everything should be set for secure communications. We have you guys in one of the central rooms. And I've taken the liberty to furnish it and get it ready for notepads and everything else that you might need. But if you need anything else, tablets or whatever, just let me know.
Thank you.
And then Mr. for her part said, actually, if you could give me a glass of wine, that would be greatly appreciated. He says, of course, ma'am. And he seems somewhat surprised. He kind of looks at you and then looks at her and then kind of like, okay, I mean, I have wine. And for her part, you guys go into kind of one of the exhibits, and it indeed has like a little cloth table and some nice chairs that have been upholstered and everything, and they're sitting there, 2 of them, waiting for you guys, and it has indeed notepads and pencils and everything else. So talking about specifically, we've been talking back and forth, so it's a pleasure to finally meet you in person.
Yes.
So I have the exhibits on their way as we speak. Following much the same route that I did. So coming by means of an intermediary, in this case Brazil, and then moving on. They are being transported by air. We do have the 4 mummies, complete with cultural relics. We will only be showing at most 3. Preferably probably 2 at a time.
All right.
And because one of them is in a particularly deteriorated state, I would ask that one of them not be shown at all. We just keep it stored. Is that something that you would be willing to accommodate?
Of course.
Dr. Chase said that you would have enough of the environmental controls to be able to facilitate this, and at least the storage, as well as the, and you hear the footsteps, and Dr. Chase is coming in, and he has indeed a bottle of wine and a nice glass, which he sets in front of her, and she does a little swirl thing, looks at it, and she sips it, and she's like, I love it. Good Italian wine. I haven't had this in a while, she says, and she sits down the cup.
Yes, Dr. Chase and the others have been working and making this as controlled environment as possible. We've been studying up on what would be the ideal temperature and humidity and all of that, both for storage as well as display.
Yes, that is excellent news. And then for display and security purposes, what are we looking at as far as your?
I can show you.
Okay.
And she will actually take her down to the displays that they have started to set up. But they'd be behind the big drapes.
Yeah, they have it all hidden. Yeah, the whole section.
Yeah, anytime the exhibits are in flux, they have.
Yeah.
And then she'll show her behind the curtains and how the display will look and.
She's looking at them,
and are there any changes you would like to make to it?
Please forgive my bluntness, but what kind of supernatural protections will we have in place? As she's still looking at the exhibit and the glass and everything.
You're talking about warding?
That could be. But what else? Or if you just happen to have guards that might be capable. I just want to make sure that we're able to keep these in as good of condition and not disturbed as we can.
Actually, I'm trying to think how to word that. Well, I can say that during the day, while this is open to the public, we have Dr. Chase keeping an eye on things, and he is aware of many situations.
Yes, of course.
And then after hours,
he comes around and stands.
And after hours, we do have certain staff. They're more on the artistic side, but they are also capable of handling any difficulties that may arise from a less than mundane source.
Okay.
After hours, we do not have,
what about for your
unaware people.
What about for your storage? Does your storage have any defenses?
What sort of defenses would you like to have on them? Because it can be arranged, yes.
And I'd be willing to pay, or even help facilitate. I can pull on some threads, I think, but I would prefer it to be 24/7 guard.
Understood. That can be arranged. The people who work after hours...
Non-mundane.
Non-mundane, yes. The people who work after hours usually have people such as my Dr. Chase that can be...
a ghoul, yes?
And yes, not to put
that
a
will,
fine point on it.
That will work. Okay. In fact, I wonder if it could work better, she says, as she's looking over at Dr. Chase. And Dr. Chase, for his point, seems somewhat confused, and he still seems to be looking at the wine glass, which she still has in her hand and is sipping. Okay.
Also, anything that happens on camera is reviewed by me before anybody, by me and by Dr. Chase before any mundanes get hold of it. So that if there is anything that's less than discreet, it can be taken care of.
Well, I understand that you all have a image to uphold. Facing
yes, we
the public.
prefer people not.
We feel the same way, she says. I will tell you something, and I expect it to not leave this room between the three of us.
Understood.
The particular mummy that is not to be showcased is of particular importance that it not be disturbed in any way. It needs to remain as it is at all costs. And I'm sorry to not be upfront with you over electronic communications.
It's best not to.
Right. You have to understand, in my country, everything is monitored. So, we find ourselves in a position that the most important thing that you have is not ever going to be shown. And I would like to keep it that way.
I have an inkling of what you're saying.
To devastating consequence.
This is a real mummy and it has devastating curses. That's why.
And the only reason she knows is like she's going, more than the others were right? What? Oh, I'm never going to tell him that.
I've taken great pains to only share with a very select few people this fact. Most of them are under your persuasion or mine. So I appreciate your willingness to help us. And I will be staying in town. I will go and follow the artifacts. So I'll be leaving again tomorrow. We'll be back in a week.
All right, and is there any particular type of wording you think would work best? And we will have people of some persuasion guarding the exterior, but we want to make sure that no one goes inside. This part of the storage will be completely off limits.
Well, I'm not too familiar with the wards that you can place. Are we talking, like, is it by individual or is it by supernatural type or?
I think I can come up with some supernatural wording. I have a few contacts.
Okay.
That will just assist to keep people out.
Well, again, any costs associated with this extra bit, we can work out a deal. So keep the receipts and we will discuss. We can pay in the form of artifacts or knowledge or availability for assistance. Should you find yourself in China, there's a number of different ways that we can work this. All of the above. Just let me know. But monetarily, we're fully capable through our Swedish accounts or Swiss accounts, excuse me, to finance this.
Of course.
Okay. Well, lovely, and a lovely wine, she says as she takes another sip. And he says, thank you. And he lives off a specific vineyard out of, French Riviera or something, and talks about what the chateau something. And she's just like, she kind of nods and smiles.
Yes. Well, hopefully I'm in the process of acquiring my own vineyard, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, then I would love to try the wines once you get up and running. Is there any other questions that you have of me? I will be an open book to you this night since you've been so open and willing to assist us in this preservation.
Do we also need to have some kind of wording to keep anything in?
That is a great question. And she looks at you, looks you up and down pretty hard. The fourth mummy.
How many mummies you got?
Only four.
Good lord. We're all doomed.
I would need... She stops and she decides to abort from that line of thought. So short of you trying to convince her.
Let's leave that for when it may arise. And the only other questions you
The other mummies are just as they appear and require no additional, other than protecting a national treasure.
Of course. I had a train of thought and it went.
That's okay. We can come back to you. All right. So
Mummy is a faction I have not played yet, but I've read a lot on them. Mummies are fucking disgusting.
Yeah. Well, they're one of the few that actually get like cool abilities as you get over 5 dots in something. Like they're 6 dot. They actually, like, for stamina, they get an extra health level.
Yeah.
And like strength, they can do feats of strength for
Fucking
free.
ridiculous, dude.
Anyway, so you slept the night. It was, uncomfortable, but it's like feels like yours now. And in the eyes of all Camarilla law, it is absolutely yours, to the point where anybody wishing to enter that is kindred or their ghouls have to announce themselves like you would a prince if you want. You have full control, legally speaking, of your little domain.
My tiny domain.
Yes.
Yes.
It is yours, to the point where even the prince isn't supposed to just... The prince could knock it down. The sheriff could override. short of them, nobody else. Scourge can't. None of the Primogen can. Like that's how it is. It's
All right.
And even the sheriff still needs okay from the prince. So it's not like something he can, but provided he gets the okay from the top guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He better have his justifications because this specifically, there's a certain level, like when you get to living like hundreds of years, like people do bad shit and stuff that they know that you don't want them to know about, and that you kind of understand that it's in a weird way. Like everybody's sinning, so like they're kind of like everybody's a drug dealer. So do we really want But one of us has to be the sheriff. So, but he's also a drug dealer, so it's like that sort of weird kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
As being the world of darkness, everything has that extra layer of shadow, but it's to kind of protect that. It is kind of it is sacred in a way.
Okay.
So you
So I did.
the level of that.
I do remember that I do have a duty to fulfill tonight, and I need to text K&K Associates, speak to Dolores, set up an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
With Princeman to
Yes,
talk shop.
so he does.
So
Get the dimensions on this building. We could have a kick-ass little living quarters built underneath it. We could.
Yeah, it has a live like on top. It has like a apartment, like a little small apartment thing on the top of it already. But you could build down into like a basement. With some work. But it is like rough downtown stuff. Like it's not rough downtown, but it is like straight, like beautiful area, really high class, high expense. It's a cool spot. All right, so, but it's very expensive too, right? Because you have to pay all the taxes and everything else.
Diamond-studded guns.
Hell yeah! Click.
When you hit a target audience and you find that target audience, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we'll have you. So you make your trip to the Prince. So we'll do that, and then we'll do their last night, and then we'll call it. So we might go a little bit later than normal, but so you do get to K&K Associates ultimately through the usual process, through the security down the the elevator, across, and then up the elevator to the penthouse suite, and then that's not even listed on the elevators. And it's a special, almost key required, but it exists, and you're able to press it, and you're going in through the big doors. You see Dolores stand there, and she looks at you and smiles in just a polite but fake way, and she says, "Mr. Wiskowski, it's a pleasure to see you again."
Hello, Dolores.
I think the prince has you, and you're penciled in, so you're free to go on in. And she looks over. You see the same guy who was sitting there, and he kind of like mean mugs you, and he's like he's like totally lounged out now. He's kind of looking at you, enter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take your number, 5 million and 70. All right, so you go right in, and you see the prince this time sitting. You don't see the tattooed Asian guy, bald Asian guy. You just see the prince, and he seems to be alone with glasses on, and he has an old quill and pen, and he's just seems to be scribing on a scroll. And he looks up. He kind of tilts his glasses, and you still see the Jonathan Drake.
Still chilling.
Nasty, thing. But anyway, you go in.
Okay.
Yes. Let's go off into my my study, and we'll discuss this.
That was me. Thought I heard.
So I have it on good authority that you were assisting the prince at the time, Seneca Duval.
Yeah.
And in one of her few aggressive moves to rid the city of a demonic entity. I was wondering if you could kind of elaborate on that and what your role was. He says, as you guys go inside, and you see like huge like busts of like literally an elephant head that's been stuffed and taxidermied. You see what looks to be like a leopard that's like on a log. Like there's all kinds of taxidermied stuff, and it's a study. Very nice chairs. Everything's super carpeted. Looks really nice. Smells old. There seems to be a couple bookshelves and stuff in the back, and he looks like he has like a little nice sort of antique-looking icebox as well. And would you like some blood?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
All right. He goes through and pulls out from this chilled, like it's a really ornate, like silver, in like a silver cage, the flask. Uncorks it and pours like pretty thick blood into these glasses. Takes a few minutes, but as he's talking, he's just kind of listening to you as you talk about whatever you say.
Yeah, so it's not a very long story, I suppose. When we first got started working for her, we started by rounding up some body contacts to bring in, and that's how we kind of unearthed the details that were what was looking to be some demonic infestation, an incursion of sorts.
Pretty significant, I think. Did they make an assault or something like that on the princes?
They did, and
that was because they knew you guys were hunting them. Were you on like open warfare at the time, or?
Yeah, we were openly pursuing volume.
Okay.
And that's primarily the work that I did for the past was to infiltrate the volley and run interference and get in the way of demonic rights.
Okay. Did you have any interactions with the demons themselves? Or the demon, I guess?
No. Not necessarily. I mean, only in that we were fighting.
Yeah, what was that like? He says as he gives you the glass now that he's done pouring. He sits down.
The way that typically went was they were possessing sort of weaker willed people, but they were possessing them at a very high rate. So they could possess a great number of people.
Did it have a name? Did they have a name?
I don't think we covered the name today, but I'm going to take a look here. I wrote that down.
Can you find a frame for that?
Let's see if he has it in his notes. This is a while ago. As you can tell, all my games dip way back sometimes.
Yes.
I'm a horrible little taker. Some notes here, some notes there.
Yeah, I found out throughout the course of the story that I'm also really bad at taking notes.
That's fine.
I'm writing down the most random.
If you don't find it right away, you can always make an intelligence
Try it
roll.
on paper because there's no way to index them in a way that
Yeah.
you can find a spot per se. Like I know what's in there and I know roughly where it's at, but I got to flip through like 6 or 7 because I could.
You can always give me an intelligence check.
I think I will because
Go ahead.
I don't know that I caught that.
So it'll be difficulty 8 because it has been a while. So intelligence, straight intelligence, difficulty 8.
No.
Nothing?
Nothing there.
You cannot recall.
Cannot recall. Jessica.
Well, that's fine. It's usually they're not open with providing their names. I'm finding out.
Right. I just remember them referring to themselves as Legion.
As what?
As Legion.
Ah. Legion, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well. Okay. Interesting. And you fought this entity?
Yeah.
Okay. But if I want to strike at the heart of it, I would need to attack the Bali. Seem to help the situation?
Well, the Bali are in no. For one reason or
course.
another. I mean, they have their own ambitions, of course. But they are
everybody
also,
does.
They're also in no, and it generally comes down to finding the territory or artifacts that are the source of the demon's powers,
Mm.
or their prison, or entombment, whatever it may be. And the Bali, it's a good way to find out that information is by getting into their ranks and finding out what they know. And if nothing else, you can follow their lead and get to the facts.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like I'll need to talk to them a bit. I'll have to summon one of them. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Any particular way to destroy them that you found? So you fight them?
Yeah.
Or that just mean you...
If you destroy, it depends on whatever relic or what have you is the tomb. You can capture them. It's possible to...
do you know how to do any of this?
Because I've read up a lot.
Sure.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to know, but...
give me a occult and intelligence roll. Difficulty will be 8, but you can use your specialty in demonology.
Okay.
And then we'll tell you how much you can know.
So 8.
Mm-hmm.
I got 1.
1. You know the basically what you've already said.
Yeah.
It's about the extent of it.
Right.
He kind of nods and thoughtfully looks. Says, be honest with you. I think we may be...
You can capture them, and you can destroy what you capture them. If you can enter them.
I may be dealing with a presence within my city that I've become aware of. I'm going to keep you in reserve for now. I know better than to trust a demon, of course, but our relationship has not been hostile. And I don't want your presence souring that. So I'll keep you out of this, other than to tell you that I may need your services in more detail at a later time. We'll leave it at that. Oh, feel free to finish your blood. I'm going to retire back into my study, or into my desk. You can see yourself out through that door. He points, and he stands up, and deep in thought, and exits.
Okay. Steve slams his blood like a cheap shot.
Yeah, walks out. All right, you two. So we're gonna have you guys do your thing. So it's the second night of the rituals, and then we'll allow other people to take. If you have any other things you want to do for the rest of the night, that's fine. Just shoot me a text or an email,
okay.
Preferably email. Yes.
Just to clarify for the night, you got the 1 human for me, 10 blood, and human. Right?
Yeah.
I took the 10, but spent 5 healing 1 ag. I'm down to 2 aggravated damage, still with the -1.
Yep.
Make sure
But
you know.
one better. Yep.
So I have expended right now 7 blood. I have 8 available. So.
Okay.
And they did say they'd refund you, so if you spent 1 in potence, if you had to, just saying, just throwing it out there. If it starts to look shaky, maybe start strong. I don't know.
He has so many
dice. Are you using a?
He just got really unlucky like twice in a row.
I know. Really?
Are you using a successful method, or are you reducing it? Because you might want to start strong. Is all I'm saying. Right?
It's accumulated successes is what we're doing.
Okay. In that case, because if you roll a bad roll on the first one and she breaks loose, that could just screw the whole thing. If you start strong, then a bad roll later on wouldn't. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't screw it up.
No, we're good.
I'm 15
Okay.
blood in the hole here.
That's true.
And one guy turned into, Stretcher Armstrong floppy, very dry, withered-looking corpse.
No, we should be good.
So, you guys go down into the dungeon again. Same setup as before, and he has her floated out and put her back on, staked. But you do see her form is still massively changed. The rock at this point is basically fused to like her chest, to the point where it's like pushing out like the chest, the breasts, and then like fusing almost like a plate fused into the skin. This big rock, and yeah, you still see that plant that's just like sticking out of the mouth, and more growing into her body. You could even see some of like the green, not black, but green kind of tendrils underneath the skin. It's like a dark green, brownish color, and going out through her extremities, almost like a nervous system. And you do see those small, right now useless wings. They're about half-size wings that have formed on her back.
Okay.
And she is placed on there, and the magistrate Malays tells you to go ahead and take your position and get her restrained. We finish this tonight, yes, Ward, or do we need to make this into an additional night?
I have the blood and I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it then.
Vincent
He
will
begins
take-
incanting.
He'll take a stance.
All right.
2.
Make your strength roll and potence.
7, 11. Again. Go down 1 still. Here's 10.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7. So I rolled a 1.
That's how it goes. You have to roll 1 eventually. Right. 7 is still nothing to sneeze at. Yeah. So that's good. You make a huge amount of. This time you're like, no, I know right where to hold you. And the stone isn't as much of a problem anymore because before it was like awkwardly placed on top, but now it's fused in.
You're probably less surprised by her vigorously fighting back.
Yeah, too. You're like used to from yesterday. Yeah, totally.
Like, you don't
totally. You're like, well, I'm a big hulking monster now. They're not going to try and get away from me. Actually, I could just hold her, and my own weight will hold her. And she's like, whoa, she's a little strong, son of a bitch. So you get her in a really solid hold. You got her like what worked last night. At the end of the day, and you guys begin the incantations, the 2-hour ritual, and towards the middle of it is when this time you're going to sacrifice your blood. So you do, and a huge amount of blood into her, significantly weakening you, but you're fine. And you see her start to convulse and arc just like she did last time and try and screw it out, but you have too many successes, so you can hope to break out of it. And with that, you guys look to, at the end, the bat is kind of one of the final parts of this. So you sacrifice another full bat, and you get the blood boarded. The single blood point goes down, and again, does just like it did last time. It kind of travels along all of the little roots that go in throughout her body. And then you feel, as you're holding her, it continues, and you see the wings sort of spill out and kind of pop out. All kind of folded and rolled up, but then as it like pops out from underneath her and kind of forces you up a little bit, they start to fully extend, and you can see spikes on where like the knuckle would be, and you see her final form take, which basically has her looking like a horrifying visage. I mean, she does look like terrifying. It's like a scary gargoyle, like a legit, like full, like a thorny devil look. And with that, she arcs her back, and you see like the whole apical meristem just completely shrivel up. That's just in her mouth, and then totally immediately turn into ash all through, and like basically cakes her whole face. I think you get a little bit in your mouth too, and it goes all over, her head, and everything from the tendrils and everything. You see the stone finally goes and just absorbs into her whole skin, turning everything a solid gray, with some streaks of what look like green in some of like the joints and everything. But for all intents and purposes, she is now a gargoyle, although unconscious.
Nice.
So you guys are exhausted, and he says, Malaya says, now for the last part of this. We need you to do the remainder of this. And he hands you his book and turns it to a page, and it basically looks like a series of kind of like rules, and it looks like the all the rules for being kindred, right? So it's all like going through that, and it talks about like Keen, It talks about who they are, and it's basically repeated for the remainder of the night. And the expectation is that you're basically going to stay with her until you fall asleep, and then you both awaken, and it's as if you had embraced her, and then she now is a full gargoyle. You are released. You're allowed to do whatever you wish. You could stay in guard ward. You could do whatever. She should be good at this point. She's full blood, so she's not going to go frenzy. She's not going to remember a damn thing. He thinks that other than the beginning, a little bit of a rocky start, but it was all parts that, they were able to salvage. And because of the extra bat, he thinks that they were able to be quite successful. It was one of the more successful ones he's seen. Because he said he's even seen worse things happen. That's why he wanted you there. Because he's seen some of the acolytes, multiple acolytes trying to hold them, and they actually do break free, and so they have to reset and stuff, and it still takes. So he's 95% confident it took. But he says it's up to you. You wish to go back to the infirmary, that's your call. If not,
I'll take my 4 blood and go lay down.
Okay. So, and I think from there we're gonna end it. So we're gonna go around. We're actually gonna start with Rusty this time because we started over there last time. So Rusty, what is your lesson learned from you or your character?
So he's never seen a gargoyle being made before. Although he is fairly well versed in the occult.
Yeah, so you can give me an occult intelligence roll right now since we're talking about that. Difficulty would be 8. They're a full plan, but you botched it.
Yeah.
Okay. You're pretty sure gargoyles are only things that are on churches and somehow they come alive? You're not sure? You don't even think they're actually vampires. You're kind of weirded out that they used a vampire base. Anyway.
Well, you see one being made.
I'm pretty sure they can go in the sunlight too. So they're like a ghoul, like a high-powered ghoul.
So that was
of course, a complete lie, but you believe it.
And, well, that's really. That's
yeah.
really his
No,
own
it's
thing.
fine. I'll grant it to that.
And,
Ward, I'm assuming the same, or did you have something else you wanted to suggest?
I think about the only other thing you learned that was different was that Vincent's morals are flexible when it comes to enemy combatants.
A lot more flexible than you thought it was going to be. Fair. All right, and then, so what did Jessica
well, the 2 things you had working for you as far as Vincent's concerned
Well,
is the one who's Sabat.
She learned what really happens when werewolves get pissed off.
Yeah.
She learned the cabinet rooms actually do work against them. That is a very valuable thing. She wasn't sure it would work.
They just couldn't get through the steel.
Not
with what they had.
She also learned that
Not a safe room.
not so much learned as is beginning to learn maybe mummies are real.
Yeah.
Because this is sounding a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And she desperately wants to know what Dr. Nur is, but does not. Of course, you can't just ask.
No, and you don't have aspects, right? Too.
No, I have awareness that I don't have aspects.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what you got. I'll grant it. And then Steven.
That was my first
Steve.
time claiming domain.
Yeah.
And stuff on the prince. So
Yeah, it loves you.
No,
to
kill
go.
that bitch because
Little
I got a
fly.
chance.
Son of a bitch.
First
Got
time
a
for that
dodge
purpose.
of 1,000.
Okay, so 1 automatic experience. Love the role playing. So I'm actually going to grant 2 for that, and then your information learned. So we're going to do 4 for the session. Great session, and that concludes everything. Feel free to look at your willpower regains for nature and demeanor. Shoot me a text or whatever if you wish. Other than that, that's it. That's all I got.
So then, side question about picking up those new